the group. My name is Ekin. I'm the DM here.
Yes.
We spoke over text a few times, so hopefully
Yes.
that answered most of your questions. But of course, we'll get you a proper introduction and game going today here in this call. We're just waiting on one more player that plan to join. It's one of our old players, Steven, but he might not be
Yeah.
showing up. So if he doesn't, we're gonna start without him. We'll give him 3 more minutes so you guys can just kind of hang out in here for 3 more minutes before we start. So we'll wait till 4:10 CST. Um, but in the meantime, you're welcome to ask me questions if you have any concerns or announcements. Uh, this would be a good time. If you need to do anything before the game, like grab a drink or pencil and paper or a snack, this would be a good time to do that. So, ladies and gents, just come back in about 3 minutes. We're gonna give him a few minutes to get in here. If he's not here by then, he won't be able to join. All right. I'll see you guys soon. So, if you guys have questions, just feel welcome to ask.
Yeah, I have one question. Is this like a mid-session campaign? I mean, mid-campaign session, or like a brand new from the start type of story?
So it's not mid-session because we haven't started a session yet. Mid-campaign, well, uh, if you consider a campaign being a series of adventures, uh, this is the same campaign world, campaign group, uh, kind of campaign setting. We don't really have it's not like modern D&D where there's like a set story, set particular group, nothing like that here. However, it might be a set setting temporarily, like a base that people will set out on adventures from. Every game you play and you hop in could be completely different. You will have the same character possibly, but um, yeah, it's a completely new adventure every game you play. Uh, there's no set story, there's no plot, nothing like that in old school D&D.
Okay, that makes sense with how you worded it with the texts. Do
Yeah.
we already then have like a current team composition with no recommended types of character, race, or class yet?
No, nothing like that. Some players have characters already because they've already played a few adventures and they didn't die yet. Um, there's no requirement. You should play any class that you want to play. Um, however, this is old school D&D. In our group, although you'll pick a class, you don't really benefit from picking a class until you reach enough experience points where you prove that you're competent at doing your job. So picking a class doesn't really matter. It just tells everyone else what job you're filling. So, but naturally, if you choose to be a fighter and you bring no weapon or armor, then I mean, it doesn't really matter. You just claim to be a job that you're not good at, so or not qualified for. But yeah, there's no requirements. What's up?
I was just gonna say, like, can you walk me through like character creation for this version, or
I will.
like,
Yeah. So we will do that as we start. It's just we
Okay.
aren't starting until Steven gets here, but he's not getting here, so we're just gonna start without him.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll go over that during the during our preparation here. So we'll start this game. To start the game, ladies and gents, hopefully you're all back. We're gonna start without Steven. And this basically just means that we're now gonna go into prep. We do have some new players, so we'll get them ready as well. So yeah, to start off today's game, we'll go over introducing the new players to the game, teaching them how to play, and getting them ready, of course, and then we'll get you all ready as well. So for the new players, Derpity and Femboy, is that what you guys want to go by for a player name, not character
You
name?
can just call me like Friendly or Ash. I can go by Ash.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, so you're Ash, and then Derpity, do you have a preferred outside of game name?
Now you could just call me my username or Jerpity. Both are good.
Okay. Okay then, Derpity. Alright, so welcome to the group. Like I told you, my name's Ekin. I run Old School D&D. You're joining an Old School D&D game and group. Basically, this group plays Old School D&D, of course, right? D&D BX is a game about telling stories of classic fantasy adventures. That means classic fantasy adventure is stories about adventurers who go on, of course, adventures about hunting monsters and treasures for gold and experience points, right? So adventures, of course, being dangerous or long journeys that are very risky for some kind of reward, right? That being, of course, money and experience. If you want to progress in this game, you have to do your job. You have to kill monsters and loot treasure, okay? So that is the goal of the game, is to survive and kill monsters and get treasure so that you have more freedom to do what you want. Naturally, you already know D&D is a game where you can kind of do whatever you want, but you'll be more capable the more you progress, right? And like I already told you, to progress, you have to hunt monsters and treasures to get gold and experience. Okay, so that is the premise, that is the goal, that is what we're playing. Now I'm going to teach you, and of course, there's a way to lose, so there's a way to win. You know how to win now, right? Is you got to survive and get experience and money. But if you lose, if you die, you lose, you're out. It's permadeath. If you get killed, you're out of the game, you're out of the group for a little bit. You'll come back, you'll be allowed to roll a new character next time you play. But for the remainder of that game that you play that you die in, you're pretty much out. So that's it. And then now we're gonna go over how to play it. It's very basic here. Once your character rolled up, once everyone's ready to play, the DM will describe to you the situation you're in. From there, every player will have a turn to decide what the character does, and then we'll roll the dice if necessary to determine the results of your actions, whether you're successful or not. That's it. So 3 easy steps. Do you have any questions or concerns on the goal of the game, or like what we're playing, or do you have any questions on how to play it? We've gone over how to play and what the goal of the game is. So Derby and Ash, do you have questions about that, like how to play or
I'm assuming
the goal?
you're gonna explain certain rules that don't
Regards-
show up in the house rules.
Yep.
Like,
you won't need to know any.
as we go.
Yeah, it's very bare bones. All right.
I feel pretty ready.
Sounds good. Yeah, it's very basic. Don't stress, right? It's really black and white in Old School D&D. It's no gray area. It's yes or no. All right, we're gonna move on to character creation now. Okay. So now I'm gonna teach
Before
you and
we
help
do,
you. What's up?
Oh, I was just gonna say, I might need to restart my PC. I know it's a terrible time, but it just froze.
Okay, you're good. Go ahead. Just restart it. I'll wait for you. Alright, in the meantime, as he's fixing his computer, Silk, Tulio, and Star, your characters are still alive, right? So you won't need to roll new ones. But in the meantime, we can get your characters ready. So, Star, before we start today's game, do you have any prep for EMRYS?
How many copies do I have left?
You've got 2, and you have 2 rations, so you don't have to worry about breakfast today. You're down to 1 ration.
Okay, can I just get a set of torches?
Yeah, torches? Okay.
How much are torches? Just 1 copper?
Yep. Do you want a tinderbox too?
Nope, just a torch.
Okay. Alright. Tulio, your character Samaguturajan. Do you have any prep? He's got 7 coppers on him.
Yeah. Let me buy something.
Sure. What do you need to buy?
What do I have?
You've got a short bow, quiver, 1 arrow, a sackcloth, a belt, 5 torches, some sandals, a tinderbox, a knapsack, and 1 ration left after breakfast today.
Okay, I'll get 2 more arrows.
Okay.
Can I hire that NPC that Steven got last time?
Possibly. You'll have to make an offer to him. He doesn't know you, so
Okay.
that was his retainer. So let's say you go and find him. It's Jackie the thief. And Jackie's already been possibly hired by Steven, so the chance of you hiring him is lower, right? Because he's already planning to be hired by another character. You still want to try to hire him anyway?
Yep.
Okay. So you give him a job offer. What's your offer?
A full share, and a copper.
A full share in copper, no insurance.
Nah.
Okay. What about accommodation? Is that covered?
The copper is that.
Okay, so no daily wage, just a copper for accommodation.
Yeah.
Okay. And what's the job? Retainer?
Just yeah.
Okay. Equal or more or low risk retainer?
Low risk.
Low risk, so you expect him to do less than everyone else in the crew. And then, of course, he's going to get a full share and a copper for accommodations. Okay, so roll 2d6 to see how he reacts to the offer.
A 2.
He takes offense to your job offer. 2 is the worst outcome ever. So you came up to him, you gave him a job offer, right? And he hears out your job offer and he laughs and takes offense to it and will report you, right? He thinks that you're a piece of shit and that you're trying to get people killed. So
Okay, I don't give a shit about him.
all right, well, yeah, he's gonna go around spreading rumors about your company.
Nah, I'm gonna tell him to not do that. Otherwise, I'm gonna kill him.
Okay. Let's see how he reacts to that then. Your charisma is 9, so he's confused and uncertain. He says, you think you can kill me? I'll tell people about that too, that you threatened me. Right?
I don't
Alright.
care, moron. Don't let me see you again.
Okay. He reacts positively. It says, yeah, I won't see you again. You're gonna go to prison for this, right? And he walks off, heading over to the village watch to report you, right? So I don't know if they can do anything about that. There's like little to no evidence, right? But so you shouldn't worry too much, but you might, if he spreads that information to the wrong people, you might have a harder time employing anyone, right? So you've gained, of course, a rival, or Jackie the rookie is going to be telling rumors about how you're trying to hire people to get them killed, right? So let's see. I'll put that in notes for a reminder. Okay. You already have 2 criminal offenses, by the way. You have to keep in mind. Besides that offense has been reported in, you have the woman that reported you yesterday that you assaulted. So that's been going around the village. People have been posting, or watchmen have been going around asking for a young man of your appearance, right, to be brought into the law, right? So you have to keep, at this point, SAMAGUTURAJAN, right? You've been keeping a low profile, but it won't be long before you are confronted by the watch, right? So for your sexual assault yesterday. All right. Let's see. We're gonna return to preparations for the new guy since Ash is back. So, welcome back, Ash. Hopefully your computer's all fixed up. We're gonna get you and Derby rolled up. So, first thing we're gonna do for your character creation is we're gonna generate your character's ability scores. So you're gonna hop into play by post, and your character's stats and everything is completely random at the start. In old school D&D, you don't really get to pick who you are at the beginning, but you can pick what you do or become moving forward. So it's very random, or characters are very quickly rolled up, very random, I guess. I don't really know how to explain it too much, but yeah, you're just gonna roll those different commands. /roll space 6 space 3d6, type it out, click enter, then do /roll space 1d4, type it out, click enter, then do /roll space 3d6, click enter, right? So type in and post those various dice commands to generate your character. If you copy and paste it, it might not work because the dice bot might not be prompted to roll the dice for you. So these are commands that you're using to get the bot to roll dice for you. Any questions or concerns? See, yep. Just try again. All right, good job.
Be one at a time.
Yep, one at a time. Looks good, Derpity. So just do the D4 and 3D6 after. And then Ash, do you have questions or concerns? Oh wait, let me make sure you can speak. Okay, you should be able to speak now.
No.
All right. Yep. Roll when you're ready. Let me know if you have trouble. I can help you. Alright, also do be advised, new players, we do record our games, mainly for record keeping sake, so just bear that in mind too. Let me know if you have an issue with it. But otherwise, yeah, the games are just recorded for record keeping mainly.
There we go. Bruh. Not the greatest, but I can work with this.
Yep, looks good, looks good. Alright, thank you both for rolling. Okay, we're gonna start with whoever rolled their stuff first. So let's see. Which was Derpity rolled first. So Derpity, those are your ability scores, the first set of 3d6s you rolled. They are reflected on the record sheet in the listed order on the record, which is the classic original D&D stat array. The first roll you made was for your strength, the second was for your intelligence, the third was for your wisdom, the fourth was for your dexterity, the fifth was for your constitution, and the sixth was for your charisma. So it looks like your character is intelligent, dexterous, constitute, and very charismatic, okay? So those abilities help reflect what job you're going to be good at. There are 4 classes in old school D&D that belong to the human race, which are cleric, fighter, magic user, and thief. There are 3 demi-human classes which belong to the demi-human races. These are dwarves, elves, and halflings. You might be more familiar with race class, like in modern D&D. In old school D&D, it was just class. Elves only were elf adventurers. Dwarves were only dwarves. They did everything that dwarven adventurers would do. And same with halflings. Halflings were halfling adventurers. More like Lord of the Rings style, right? You never saw a dwarf cleric, a dwarf wizard. It was just dwarves, right? Humans are different though. Humans have a very different culture and way of life. So they are separated in different classes, right? Different styles of humans, right? There are those humans that worship God and fight for God and such. And those are the ones who we call the class of cleric. So adventuring clerics are clergymen, holy leaders, right? Among their class. There's of course the standard man, fighting men, right? Men who fight, those are fighters. The majority of human adventurers are fighters, right? And then of course there are those who are thieves, tradesmen, right? Explorers, wanderers, looters, right? Thieves are a class 2. Optional human classes, these are house ruled classes. They are not by the book. This is ranger and paladin. Rangers are kind of like a mix between thief and halfling. They have similar skills. They're very good at hiding and stalking their prey and hunting monsters in the wilderness. There are paladins, which are kind of a mix between clerics and fighters. They're kind of considered like chivalric holy knights. They fight for kind of both god and king, right? Whereas clerics devote themselves to mainly god and fighters maybe to a lord, right? Of course, clerics can still help out with lords and fighters can still help out and fight for god, but paladins are strictly sworn to do both, right? So, all right, between those class options, you're gonna pick one. So starting with whoever rolled for first, which was Derpity. Based on your scores, you can basically play any class because you're good at everything. But the most recommended, since you're intelligent and dexterous, is going to be magic user, or thief. Okay. What's your choice?
Yeah.
I was thinking I would aim to become a wizard, but is there other classes that are great with charisma as well?
Every class uses charisma. Constitution charisma is very good for every class. So, charisma is the stat you need to lead armies, basically. In old school D&D, the roots are in wargaming, and every character will eventually control their own army, right? That's the goal in the late game, right? So charisma is very important for that. And then, of course, constitution is your hit points, which prevent you from dying. Every character can die. The goal is not to die, so hit points are very helpful for every class, right? Some classes, unfortunately, die easier than others, naturally, because they focus on other things to, maybe not as much as conditioning their bodies for pain and stress. Rather, maybe they focus on other things like skills and trades and abilities, right? Like magic. Yeah, so again, your best option is, in that case, magic user, since you want to be kind of a wizard. Nope. Did he drop out? Or
Sounds good. I'm right here.
okay. Cool. No, I was just checking on Ash. He hopped out of the call. Oh, he's back. Okay. Maybe he's got technical difficulties. Welcome back, Ash. Right. Yeah, so you're going to be a magic user. Next step is you're going to pick out preferences for your gear. So if you don't know what your magic user needs, then I'll pick it out for you. But otherwise, do you have any preferences on equipment? Old school D&D emphasizes equipment, right? You don't really have special skills or abilities in old school D&D. What you had was gear. Gear gave you the abilities that you need to do, right? A weapon allowed you to fight, not your bare fist. And then, of course, spell scrolls and such allowed you to use magic. So, do you have any preferences on your starting gear? Otherwise, I will pick out your gear early on. Like, is there any particular weapon or tool or supernatural device you want to use? Like, salt or incense, chalk, ink, and quill. Magic users tend to bring in ingredients to help deal with the sciences and the supernatural, the unnatural, right? So, garlic, silver, beads, torches, candles, any of that. Is any of that preferred? Of course, the bare bones every adventurer needs is weapons and looting equipment. So weapons and bags to get loot and to kill monsters, right? So.
Yeah, those all sound great, but I think I'll do empty scrolls. If that's good.
One more time, a scroll?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, let me see if you can afford one. So you roll 13 for your money roll. So you're gonna be able to afford some clothing, and then besides your clothing, we'll get you a random level 1 scroll. So that is what you can afford at this time. So go ahead and roll a d12. Okay, number 3. All right. So
That was me. This one's yours.
oh, sorry. 6. Yeah, I see it. Okay. Sorry about that. All right, 6. So we're gonna check out what number 6 is, and if you want to know the possibilities, it's in the house rules channel for just level 1 spells for arcane spell list. You got number 3, which is you received a floating disc scroll. Okay, so you purchased and identified a random scroll, right? And it turned out to be a floating disc scroll, right? So it's purchased and identified for you, and you're able to read it. The seller will teach you how to read it, naturally, because they're selling it to you. And then, of course, how to use it, the various gestures you need, and of course, the various methods of how to use it, right? If you don't know what floating disc does, basically it allows you to create a supernatural floating disc that allows you to kind of carry up to 500 pounds of gear. It will float at your side up to 6 feet away from your body, and it will follow you around. But this spell is very good for looting, right? So it's an invisible disc, size of a shield, like a small buckler, and you can put like a lot of weight on it. So if you like how to carry a dead body out, or You know, it's like basically telekinesis almost, right? So, yeah, that's the kind of scroll you've got early on. So you've got that symmetrical scroll on you. You've got a sackcloth over your body, a belt around your waist, and a pair of sandals. And that's all you own because scrolls are very expensive. It costs you the majority of your starting funds. So you're just kind of like this hobo-looking character with a magic scroll, right? So, all right, last step for you is to choose your character's name. So if you don't know a name yet, you can take some time to think about it. I can come back to you. If you already know what you want to name your character, that's fine too. But yeah, do you know what name you want,
Think
or
about
you need some time? No
I
worries.
don't have anything yet.
All right, yeah, we'll come back to you. We're gonna move on to Ash. Okay, Ash, thanks for your patience. We're gonna finish up your character. So we had you roll your scores, and I'm recording them right now. Let's see, just double check. You get a 14, 7, 8, 7, 13, and
And then 9.
9. Thanks. All right. So you can see, I do everything on paper. Try to keep things as classic as possible, or basic. Since we do play old school D&D, traditional D&D. So, all right. Moving forward, let's see. We're gonna go on to picking out your class. So, my recommendation, because you're strong and your constitute, is to play either a fighter or a dwarf. But if you'd rather play a different class, let me know. Those are your top recommendations, though. You have a preference?
I was gonna ask. So, since dwarf is its own class,
That's
how
right.
does that class play? Is it similar to fighter, or is it entirely different than fighter?
Yep. So dwarves are kind of a mix between fighter and thief, maybe kind of magic user too, to some extent when it comes to crafting. But dwarves are very good miners, craftsmen, and fighters, right? They're not going to be as good at fighting as fighters, but they're the only ones who can craft better than any other class, and they're very good at detecting like traps and such like that because they do a lot of construction down in their, mines and such, right? It's part of your culture, your history, and your trade, as you were raised among the dwarves. Now you don't live among them; you live among the humans, and then you're taking on a very human occupation. But yeah, you're going to be able to fight well, and you're going to be able to do other things that fighters can't do, like craft and construct. I mean, they can still do it, but you do it better, right? So it's a trade-off.
That's fair. Can dwarves like use swords?
Yep, dwarves can
Question
use
mark.
swords, dwarves can use polearms, axes, bow and arrows. The only weapons they are not able to use are tall-sized weapons, weapons that are not meant for their height, which is like a war bow, for example, or
That's right.
yeah, a two-handed sword. It's just too unwieldy and unbalanced for them. But a polearm is fine. Axes, spears,
Okay.
pikes.
In that case, I might go fighter because I kind of want to use a great sword.
Okay, yeah. And fighters, the best at fighting the game. They're the majority of men are fighters, fighting men, right? Men who fight. So, that's totally fine. Now, of course, you can set yourself apart by being the best at fighting, by, of course, proving it on the battlefield, right? There's more to just being good at swinging a sword to combat, right? And you'll get to find out as you play. All right. Well, as a fighter, you're gonna be recommended to start out with armor and weapons. Your starting funds that you rolled was at 11. So, do you have any preferences on armor or weapons? Otherwise, I'll pick at your gear.
I for sure want a great sword if I can afford it.
The closest you can start with is a short sword or a sword, but you still need clothes. So, we'll probably go with a short sword if that's fine early on. Okay.
If that's like the cheapest one, then
Unless
if
you
I can't have a great sword.
want.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, then I might go with like a cheap to moderately priced sword and focus on armor. Or
Okay.
maybe just dump my funds evenly into both of them if I can.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
So clothing typically costs about 2 to 3 at least. Usually you want to spend 3 at least. This will allow you to purchase a sackcloth, which is the cheapest form of clothing. It's just a sack with holes in it that you can wear as a tunic. And then last, you need a belt to wear things in your waist, to carry extra loot or weapons on your waist. And of course, you need some sandals for your feet to protect your feet during marches against rough terrain. So that's the bare minimum when it comes to clothing. For your weapon, if it's a sword you really want, short sword or dagger is best in your case. Otherwise, there are better, longer reach weapons that are more affordable and super effective, like spears and pole arms. Would you be interested in those? Or does it have to be specifically a blade, like a sword or dagger?
I suppose to start out with, I'll go with a spear. Spear's a pretty versatile weapon.
It is. It's very good and more effective, usually. So, all right. So you will start with a spear, which is 3 coppers, a sackcloth,
Okay.
and a belt, sandals. That only was 6 total so far. And your last 5 is going to go toward a shield. As you said, you wanted some armor, so 5 costs 5 afford to a shield. So you have spear and shield. Okay. And lastly, do you know what you want to name your character?
Let's just go with Asher.
Asher? Okay. Sounds good. Thank you. All right, just double checking with Derpity. Was that enough time for you to figure out a name for your character?
Yeah, I'm gonna name my character Plum.
Plum? Okay, sounds good. Thank you. All right.
Just to, oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Just to clarify, I have 0 gold left.
Yep,
Right.
0 coppers left. That's right. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, Star, Tulio, and Silk, thanks for your patience. We're going to get you guys a turn to get ready. I think we already gave Star a turn to get ready, so she should be good. Tulio, we were in the middle of your prep, I think. We got you... I forgot what we were going to use. Some arrows, right? Yeah, we got you 2 arrows. Was there anything else?
Well,
You were thinking
are the
about hiring
newcomers
someone.
bad?
Are the what?
Are the newcomers bad?
Fed? Oh, not yet. Do you want to buy food for them?
Okay.
So a couple hungry guys are
I'll
going
buy
here
them food, but they're gonna owe me 2 coppers each.
Okay. I mean, that's an offer they can choose to accept or decline then.
Yeah,
So,
I'm gonna offer that to them.
okay.
Who's specifically offering you this?
Yeah. So your characters in this game need to eat. Without fuel, you don't function, you know? So you don't function normally, at least, right? So especially when you're doing hard work like adventuring, so you need fuel for your body, mind, and spirit. This guy named SAMAGUTURAJAN or whatever, played by Tulio, he's offering you a very difficult deal, very expensive deal. You need food. He has food for you possibly, but it's gonna basically be costing you a lot more money than food is usually worth, right? Usually, now the idea is that you're gonna make more money throughout this adventure, and you might be able to pay it off easily. But unless any other characters want to offer you food, right now he's the only one offering you food, and he's giving you food for a very high cost. Again, it's gonna be 1 ration, 1 pound of food that you were gonna get, and you're gonna owe him 2 coppers each, right? So. Food typically costs 1 copper for 3 rations, right? So 3 pounds of food is 1 copper. So he's selling you 1 pound of food for 2 coppers, right? Is that a deal you guys are up for?
I was gonna ask, how long can I go at this current state without food?
Your character can go 7 days without food. However, throughout those 7 days, your character will of course become weaker over time. They'll lose hit points. They'll become bedridden. They'll lose stats, right? Like their
Let
strength
me
and constitution.
clarify.
Yeah.
I mean, how long can I go without any negatives?
Without any penalties, it's just like in real life. Lunch, dinner, and breakfast. You need 3,000 calories a day. So this morning, if you go without breakfast, you're just gonna have kind of a growling belly as you march, right? You're gonna have a -1 a hit and damage. It's gonna accumulate over time. So your penalties will just get. So 1 day without food, it's -3. The next day without food, it's a -4, and you start to lose hit points. You start to lose more than, you start to suffer the consequences of hunger, right? Like in real life. So the same consequences.
I'm not gonna take his deal.
Okay, that's fine. Yep, going without breakfast is totally.
And my sister, on the other hand, if I may interject, is gonna be like, hooray, thank you. I can't afford to go on this hungry and pay up if I have some money.
Okay, yeah.
If I don't.
You'll take us some debt. All right, so yeah.
Wait. I can give Deputy some of my.
Nah, she already accepted the offer, so.
No. I'll give her some of my food.
Okay. Deputy, whose food do you want to accept? Do you want to accept EMRYS' food for free or SAMAGUTURAJAN's food for 2 coppers?
Well, that would depend on the food.
It's both the same rations, so salted meats and fruits and vegetables and such. It's 1,000 calories that you need to eat this morning before you march. So if you don't eat it, it's like driving a car on an empty tank, right? So it's just going to get worse and worse and not move eventually. So
My character is gonna go ahead and look between both of them and then take the free food and just nod, saying thank you.
okay, yep. So you take the free food instead. She only had 1 extra ration left, so yeah. Asher, to answer your question, maybe some other character or she might buy you food, but she only has 1 copper left, so I don't know if she wants to spend her last one on you. This is hard-earned money. To give you an idea of how valuable money is, 1 copper is a day's work. So if you're a peasant, a copper is like working 10 hours for $10, right? So an hour or 8 hours for like $12.50. So it's minimum wage. It's 1 copper is a day's work, right? 1 session possibly is if you decide to do like mundane work instead of adventuring. Adventurers tend to make way more though, right? Maybe hundreds or thousands of US dollars in a single day, or D&D world like 10 to 20 coppers, maybe even hundreds, right? So depends on how well you do and what kind of job you take. All right, well,
Yeah, I'm not gonna pressure her to do that at all, but
yeah,
remind me, a copper is 3 rations, right?
yep. Copper's 3 rations a
Okay,
day's worth of
just
meals.
making sure.
This is for salted foods, of course. There are cheaper foods out there, but they're not ready to eat though. They're like, raw meat, produce, right? They have to cook up. That's why rations are so expensive. They're ready to eat meals, like MREs. So let's see. Okay, well, moving on to getting SYREN ready, right? Our last old crew member. Let me find your record.
Wait,
All
am
right.
I still keeping SYREN or am I making a new character?
You might have
for
to
the
make a new
campaign?
one because you're not in this area anymore, or you're not in the area that we're currently campaigning at. We're in Valsat now, I think. So, or no, we're in Stavos. So if you do want to join the crew, your character was in Valsat, you will have to pay for a ferry all the way to Stavos, which could cost you a life and limb, or a lot of money, right? Just to get a boat ride across the sea. So, if you have the money for it, you can do it, right, and get traveled over to where your next job offer is, right? Your next job opportunity is. Otherwise, you'll just roll a new one. What do you think, Silk?
Yeah, I already rolled a new one.
Perfect. All right, let me take your notes down. All right, so what class are you thinking?
Elf.
You said elf?
Yeah.
I could not hear your voice cut off or your mic cut off.
He said elf.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. You have a 6 intelligence, which means that your elf won't be able to do the things that they normally can do, because the standard requirement is an elf has 9 intelligence, right? If you don't have 9 intelligence as an elf, basically you don't get to inherit the full benefits of being an elf, right? Elves without 9 intelligence do not receive the bonus language that elves normally get from their past life as an elf, right? Before they became adventurers. That would be, you wouldn't be able to know Hobgoblin, Orc, and Gnoll at the start, right? You wouldn't be able to do all the smart elf things, like use magic in the future, right? So, is that fine? Or there are some things we can do about that. We can lower your strength down a total of, let's see, 13, 11, 9. If we lower your strength down to a 9, we can bring your intelligence up to a 9 as well, and that therefore you wouldn't have that penalty. That's the cost if you want to be an elf.
No,
Otherwise,
I'll just keep it like that, and eventually I'll re-roll it or upgrade it.
okay. All right. But you do know the consequences, though, right? Of starting as a 6 intelligent elf. So the main thing you're not going to get is the starting languages that elves normally get for having 9 intelligence. You'll have to earn those the hard way by improving your intelligence, or of course paying for tuition, right, to learn another language. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Just note that down. Alright. Okay, go ahead and let's see. Tell me about your preferences for your class, equipment, gear, if you have any.
I want to buy a spear and shield.
Okay, that's a total of 8 coppers with clothing included. You're at 11 now. You have 1 copper left.
Yeah, and I want to spend it on food.
Okay, and you 8, and you want to feed Asher, or
Yeah.
you have 1 ration left. Would you like to pass it off to someone else to carry? Because you don't have a bag to carry it with, right? It's a pound of food in your hands. What are you gonna do with it?
I'll just give it to. I couldn't say name.
You want to give it to
EMRYS?
SAMAGUTURAJAN? Okay. SAMAGUTURAJAN, you've got 2 rations now.
I'll take it.
Alright, looks good.
Um,
Alright, Asher, you've been
clarifying
fed.
question.
What's up?
And also, thank you. What's the order for all the stats again? I know I have 14 strength and 13 con. But
Yep.
I forgot what else.
No worries, yeah. Here, one moment. I'll post, I should have probably posted it. It used to be in there, actually. I don't know if it's still in there, so let me double check. But there used to be a character record sheet example in the house rules. I'll just repost it. It looks like it got deleted. So, that's the point.
Bro, no way you don't have it memorized. Ethan.
No, I do have it memorized. It's just I'm gonna send this in case someone needs to see it again. But yeah, the array is on the sheet. It's strength, intelligence, wisdom, dexterity, constitution, charisma. So, all right. What I'm trying to do though is trying to repost the record on the server. So, okay, I'm gonna post it real quick.
To be completely honest with you, I'm blind as fuck, so I cannot read what is on that paper.
Yeah, don't worry. I'm gonna post it. So you can review it at any point. Okay, it's posted now in house rules. If you need a reference, I'll post it again in multiple channels, but it will always be pinned and available in that channel. So it's in the same order on those records. So it's strength, intelligence, wisdom, dexterity, constitution, charisma. Your character, particularly Asher, you've got 14 strength, 7 intelligence, 8 wisdom, 7 dexterity, 13 constitution, and 9 charisma.
Correct.
Okay. To finish up with Silk here, what's your character's name gonna be?
SYREN. SYREN.
Okay. Very well. That's good. Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have finished our preparations and are now ready to play. But before we continue and start the game, we'll go into our first break for 5 minutes. Okay. Come back in 5 minutes, ready to play. All right. So we'll take a little break here. Take 5.
Can I just make sure I have everything down pat while we're doing this? Oh, okay, he's got it. My bad.
Yeah, I could tell. I'm just excited to draw everybody's characters once I finally get to see you all.
You're never gonna see me.
Oh no, I don't have to see you. I mean the character.
Well, what we do here is we use owlbear and I run it. So yeah.
Owlbear?
Yep.
Yeah, I love to draw. I made my profile picture of the main NPC from my last campaign before the players had to leave.
That's sweet. I wish I could. Well, I don't want to say I can't draw. I just don't have any talent, and it's really hard to practice when, like, you are starting from nothing.
That's completely and 100% valid, but if you ever want to get into drawing, just know that you don't need to have all of the best materials. As you can see on my image profile picture, it's just lead pencil on paper. As long as you practice when you can or when inspiration hits you, you're good. You just gotta choose what you're practicing and then move there from there on, getting good references.
Only girls can draw nicely.
I mean, if I try to draw evil as well.
Wait, you do art too? Pics or
Yeah, you can check in the media and memes thing I just posted. That's thing I'm working.
better, way better than what I can do already. So, I have no right to dog on that art, even though it's not in my taste. By that I mean I'm not a fan of Sonic or stuff like that.
Or can't be trusted.
That's right. That's right. But yeah, my main problem is I'm at the stage where even though I already know everyone starts at 0, me specifically, as soon as I draw a single line, I take like 15 points of psychic damage, and I have to redraw that one line every single, like 1,500 times before I just give up for that day.
Is this for traditional or digital art?
Either.
That's so fair. I noticed when I look back at my pentimento or thought process on paper, it's all just like dug into the paper. So I usually do prefer digital for that purpose, but it feels so nice to just grab a pencil and paper when I do get hit by inspiration, so I can just put it to paper immediately.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's been roughly 5-ish minutes. So that is the end of our break. Hopefully we are all back and ready to go. Just double checking those who are muted. Are you with us?
I don't
I'm
care.
right here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Silk? All right, maybe Silk is not back yet. Deputy, are you there?
I'm here.
Oh, he's here. Okay. Deputy? Okay, well, looks like Deputy's not here yet, so we'll give her a minute or two to get back.
I think
She's here. Can get back there. You gotta stay here.
I thought I had
There
to
we go.
text.
Oh yeah, sorry, no. If you guys use the text channels, I sometimes are able to see your text, but usually I just use the voice when I'm playing. because I got multiple things going on my screen, so I don't really see the text during the game. Let's see. But yeah, we just play over voice mainly. So if you guys want to chit chat on the side, that's very much welcome and recommend it. It's just you won't really be able to reach me through that during the game at least. Let's see. All right. So yeah, we're gonna get started here with our game. And now that we're ready to play, as I told you, the goal of the game is to win, right? Is to get money and experience points. And the start of it is the Dungeon Master describing to you the situation you're all in, giving you also some background information, give you an idea of what's been going on prior to the situation, so you have a better idea of what you might do based on the situation, right? Once it's your turn to choose your action, all right? So, as of right now, your band of adventurers have gathered in the small town of Fort Stavos. Okay, this is not a village. This is not a hamlet. This is a larger base town or settlement. So it's probably the biggest one we've been at in recent times over the past few expeditions, various campaigns, and groups of adventurers parties. Right. So Stavos, being as big as it is, of course, it also, of course, has a lot bigger issues as well, though. Right. So the issues concerning it are usually larger scale, more difficult, more pressing, but of course there's a lot more opportunity, a lot more availability, a lot more options, right? Bigger places have bigger things, right? So as of right now, adventurers are gathered and hired on to take on a threat to the north of its borders. Over the past few months, a large infestation of giant frogs have emerged in the caves to the northeast, right? This race of frogs is mutant-like, very large and grotesque, and they've been eating men, right? People, humans, right? So they've been moving, outward, and they've been, of course, spreading their seed. They seem to be using the humans as kind of, all sorts of resources they need the humans for, right? They use them for the growth and the spawn of their race, right? Of their species. So they are kind of just all over the place. Their numbers are very great, but the worst ones are the ones that can eat men, right? So there are all sizes out there, but the main threats are the ones that are about 6 feet long, right? Those ones out in the woods, they're fast, they're agile, they're aggressive, and when they come into contact with humans, they are merciless, right? They kind of just chomp down on humans, swallow them whole, and then run off, right? Or sometimes they take down multiple in one sitting, right? Stuffing their huge frog bellies with various peoples, right? So they are a major threat. The guard has been sent out there. Past expeditions have been sent out there. Mercenaries, every single group failed, right? They all come back. Well, they usually never come back. A few crews have been successful against the smaller giant frogs out there, including one of our own crews recently. And some of our crew members here are survivors of the past crew that took down a baby mutant frog yesterday. Those characters would be, of course, survivors. SAMAGUTURAJAN, right? He was part of that crew. He fired at a giant frog, never got a kill or anything, but he saw one and survived an encounter with it. We also have EMRYS. He was the one who confronted one of the giant frogs, the mutant frogs out there, and he survived the encounter. Thankfully, their old crew member that's not with us today, played by Steven, the guy we were talking about earlier, he's the one who actually killed the giant frog. He's one of the first in a while to actually manage to kill a giant frog, right? But most crews fail against the giant frog. So today, of course, you're tasked with, of course, continuing the campaign against them, right? A series of battles to hunt down this threat to the village and towns, right, of Stavos. Otherwise, there are other things you can do. You don't have to. You're not forced to, of course. But as of right now, if you want to continue to make progress, that's where we're at. Background-wise and situation-wise, you guys are probably on the way to the frogs again to continue the battle there. We left off last time. We decided to set out and besiege an abandoned hamlet northwest of Stavos. We were at the southeastern edge. We had sent some crew out, and they scouted out the hamlet to some extent. That's where we had our battle on the western edge of the hamlet. So that's kind of where we'll leave off, more than likely, unless we have other ideas. So with that in mind, any questions or concerns or objections to what we're about to get into?
Would my character know that I'm gonna start hunting down some giant frogs.
Yes, you do. Ash,
Would I be like leaving town?
yeah, you're already with the crew. So the idea is, your character, for the new guys at least, your characters have volunteered. You know, you were just before this, you were just simply an NPC, a villager, living their life behind the walls of Stavos, right? More than likely, though, you're probably one of the few that have a reason to fight, right? Because the idea is that most people who go out to the fight have a good reason to go fight. A third of the population lost their homes to the frogs, lost their families, lost their lives, right, to the frogs. So if your character more than likely has some connection, right, you probably lost your home, you probably lost family members, right? Those frogs did horrible things, right? They consumed and ate, and you lost your previous life because of them, right? Your previous lifestyle. So now you're before you even joined these ranks, you were kind of just a nobody, a villager, a refugee, trying to find any kind of work. But the best you can do, as of today, you decided to volunteer and set out as an adventurer, right? To make some change, to make a difference, right? And better yourself. So you chose to adventure today, so that's why you're here. Otherwise, you would be just hanging out in the village. What's up?
That being said, is there a chance that before leaving town, I can ask any of the townsfolk like what they know about the frogs, like any weaknesses or behavior patterns?
You might have asked, but the thing is, the people who know the frogs the most are actually in your crew today. The only ones who survive encounters with them are like characters like Sam and EMRYS, right? So your common villager who's only lived a peaceful, calm life behind the walls knows little to nothing, right? Your character being a survivor of the Frog Wars, you were only a refugee. You never actually encountered the frogs yourself, because if you did, you would not be here, right? You evacuated the village when it was time to evacuate before the war arrived at your house, right? So now you're on the front lines. You just reached the first recent established base camp southeast of the northwestern hamlet, near Stavos, right? You're at the northwestern hamlet. They've got a base camp there, and they're preparing for another foray into the ruins of the hamlet, right? On their hunt for frogs. This can be considered urban combat, urban warfare, building to building combat, right? So,
Yeah, that's fair.
yeah. Any other questions or concerns?
No, I was just doing my due diligence.
Yep. Yeah, you were gathering intel, and to answer your question, you were able to, but little to no one knew anything about the Frog Wars back in town. So the men who know the
Yeah,
most
that's
are
pretty
with you right now,
understandable.
so they can answer some questions if they want. Do you have questions for them, perhaps? For SAMAGUTURAJAN or EMRYS, survivors of the last battle?
Before we head off, I probably would have asked the party, like, what are we getting into? Like, if they knew anything about what we were fighting that isn't well known.
Okay, yeah. Some secrets that they might have, or hints, weakness that they could tell you about. Yeah, EMRYS and SAMAGUTURAJAN, since you guys are the survivors, do you have any maybe advice or tips for your new recruits in your ranks? Ashen and PLUM and SYREN? Before we head out. Yeah.
One thing I can tell you is that they do mutate, so like they can go from human to frog.
All right. Any other questions or concerns, or any other advice you guys want to provide to the new recruits before we go and find and destroy the enemy?
No, I don't really care.
Okay. Yep. SAMAGUTURAJAN doesn't seem to care too much for the recruits. EMRYS does his best to help them. And yeah, so you're about all set out. You're grabbing your weapons. You finish breakfast. You pack up, put your boots on or your sandals on, and get ready to march out to war, right? Of course, the goal of the game is to find monsters to kill and treasure to loot, right? This village was evacuated. There are valuable resources here that you guys can recover and bring back, and the village will pay you for it. Even though it's not your property, it's been lost, right? This property is considered to be lost to the frogs, right? So if any valuables you can reclaim, despite it not being yours and originally the villagers, they will still pay you for it. They will buy it back, right? Because it's been considered a lost or stolen property from the frogs. So if you reclaim it, you'll get paid for it. Maybe not the full value, but you will still get paid for the recovery of valuable assets and property that used to belong to the villagers, right? So these assets could be including, fuel like wood or food or oil, things like that, right? So, tools and supplies, medical supplies, all kinds of things can be considered valuable, right, in the ruins of the hamlet. So, yeah, there's still looting opportunities available, and there's plenty of killing to be done, right? So, let's see. Any other questions or concerns? Otherwise, moving out. So you're currently southeast of the hamlet, at the base camp, safe distance from the market. Okay, let me fix your guys' nicknames real quick. So I already fixed Ashes, and then Derby, you're gonna be Plum, right? Let's see. 0. You both should have perms to change your nicknames moving forward in the future. If you play again, you'll be welcome and encouraged to change your nickname yourself. Nicknames should always include your player name, parentheses, your character name, and your class and level, all capitalized. And then thank you, Silk, for fixing yours. Appreciate that. All right. So, yeah, you know the situation. Everyone will have a turn to choose their action. So, starting with Siren, the elf. Okay, just random assortment of turns. So, Siren, the elf, you're at base camp. You're about to set out. You've got your spear and shield ready. Are you ready to start moving forward? And if so, which direction you want to advance? Directly toward the hamlet, northwest, or a different way, or something else? Or do you want to wait to follow someone else?
Yeah, I want to start going to the hamlet with my shields ready.
Okay, you make your way directly there, northwest. Okay. All right, SAMAGUTURAJAN, shortbow and quiver, arrows. Does that sound good for you? And you want to just advance toward the hamlet too, northwest?
I'm gonna locate myself to the hamlet.
Okay, put yourself there. Yeah. So how do you want to get there? Just a direct march northwest or a different way?
Yeah, I'm gonna follow Siren.
Okay, sounds good. All right, Asher, it's your turn. So looks like you've got your spear and shield ready. Do you want to just follow Siren and Samaguturajan northwest into the hamlet too, or something else?
Are we like? So we have not made it to the ruins yet.
You're near it. Yeah, you're at base camp. You're southeast of it. You're at your base camp, which is considered a siege camp. You've got this hamlet under siege, right?
On the way there, can I check the road for like any baskets or knapsacks that might have been lost through people evacuating the hamlet?
Sure. I mean, right now, as you look forward, between here and there is just tall grass. There's an old dirt path, though, that will lead back to the town of Stavos. Along that road, of course, there's little to nothing of value, but you'll keep your eyes open for anything that might be buried or under the grass. Yeah. So, any lost objects or bags. Plum, the magic user. Do you want to just follow along with Siren or Samaguturajan, or do you want to go with Asher? He's kind of headed in the same direction, but slowing down to observe for other items, perhaps.
Yeah, I'll go and follow along with Ash.
Okay. Yep. He is making his way over to the hamlet, but slowed down as he carefully observes and scans the grass and dirt for looks like a bag of some kind. EMRYS, are you just gonna follow Samaguturajan and Siren into the hamlet or something else?
Follow Samaguturajan, yeah, to the hamlet.
Okay, sure. You get your looks like your hatchet out or your spear.
Yes, please.
All right, and then just to confirm, Plum, you've got your magic scroll. That's it. So it's just in your hands because you have nowhere else to put it. So I mean, you can tuck it in your belt if you want. So yeah, scroll of what was it? Scroll of floating disc.
Yes.
Okay. By the way, this scroll is very powerful, and but it is one-time use. Once you use a scroll, it disintegrates. So, but the idea is that once you use it, you should be gaining profit from the usage of this scroll, so you can afford more scrolls in the future. All right. So
Sounds good.
yeah, we'll start it with the northwest crew, the one that's making the way farthest into the hamlet, the first thing you see as you approach the hamlet up ahead is the marketplace. It consists of a few stalls, right? One empty stall and two stalls that are mostly loot of anything valuable, right? That would be, of course, the tool stall and the food stall, right? So between those two stalls, or between the market, you want to just pass through the market and continue into the hamlet. The next thing you see past the market is, of course, the residential buildings, and then past that, toward the center of the hamlet, you can see kind of a granary and a storehouse. East and west, directly nearby the marketplace, though, too, on the outskirts of the southeast side of the or south, yeah, east side of the hamlet. You've also got the well that you saw yesterday and the hitching post. So, yeah. What's your plan? You want to just move past the market, deeper into the hamlet? You see no signs of the frogs yet. No monsters, no treasures. So I guess we'll check one at a time. EMRYS, you want to just follow along? They're still moving northwest. They're trying to figure out where to continue. They might go northwest past the market, it looks like.
Yeah, but I'm gonna keep my eyes peeled.
Okay, yep, your eyes are still open. Is there anything particular you're observing for? Besides monsters and treasures and such?
I'm just looking for tools and
Tools?
rations.
Okay. Yeah, you do see signs of tools and rations in the market, but those are the ones that you guys left from yesterday. The spoiled or not so good ones, right?
Oh, okay. There's
There's
do
nothing
they
good
know
there anymore.
any other? Oh, okay.
You want to
No,
check?
that's cool.
We can go over it in detail.
Yeah, I'll actually go check. I'll
Double
go check.
check. Okay. Maybe something that you think is spoiled is maybe still beneficial, right?
Yeah.
All right, so EMRYS will stop at the marketplace, but what about SYREN and SAMAGUTURAJAN? Do you guys want to push past the market, northwest still, through the hamlet to the next area? The next area is the residential.
I'm going to the creek.
All the way to the creek? Okay, so that's far. Or you could get there sooner if you go directly west, maybe, or you want to push northwest through the hamlet all the way to that part of the creek. Because remember, the creek is northwest of the hamlet, flowing from the northeast to the southwest, right? You're in the southeastern corner. You're in the far opposite end of the creek.
Well, what's west of here?
West of here is, of course, the field between the creek and this part of the village, right? So let's say if we look at the map, let's say this is the hamlet, okay? Let's say this eraser is the creek. And let's say this token is your crew. You're in the southeastern corner of the, or outskirts of the hamlet, right? So naturally, you can go through it northwest as you're already kind of doing, and then reach the creek. Or you can push directly west to get to the creek and avoid the hamlet completely. Or you could push north and also still ignore the hamlet completely, right? There's multiple ways to get to the creek. I think the closest way, though, given the distance, like the math ratios and all that, would be to go northwest through the hamlet. It's just that you would have to go through the hamlet, though, right? That might slow you down. You might something might
That's
grab your
okay.
attention. So yeah, you want to push directly toward it. It would be northwest. Then. Does that make
Yeah.
sense? Okay, so you're passing through the residential area now, and that's of course the various ruined and abandoned huts, right? Village houses, burrows, so or burgs, and then of course as you pass through there, we've got SYREN. You want to keep following SAMAGUTURAJAN through the residential area?
No, what kind of buildings are in the hamlet?
Yeah, so the nearest ones to you at this point, once you get past the market, it's the residential. These are houses, right? Like people's homes. Past these two or these buildings types, you can see up ahead what looks like the granary and the storehouse of the hamlet, right? The storehouse would be used to store the villagers' like valuable tools and supplies. The granary, of course, for food and consumables, right? Other consumables, herbs, spices, I don't know, things like that, right? Would you want to visit any of those?
I want to go check out the storage house.
Okay, yeah, the storehouse. So again, there's a storehouse for like non-perishable goods usually, or like not for consuming, right? And there's of course the granary, which is like consumables like fuel, food, things like that. All right, you're checking out the storehouse though, right? So, yeah, you guys will split off then at some point. You're both headed in the same direction, but eventually you're gonna stop and check out the storehouse, and he's gonna keep going toward the creek, which is further out northwest. Going back toward Asher and Plum. Asher, you were slowing down your approach to observe for any signs of bags out here in the field between here and the marketplace on the outskirts of the hamlet. Go ahead and roll a 6-sider to see if you spot any signs of a bag out here. This is just for luck. This is just a chance that you detect a hidden one that's not already visible. Just if you get lucky enough to spot something like that out here. So you're using your eyes, you're standing still. Right now, with your naked vision or with just normal sight, there's no signs of any bags out in the field, right? But you're looking.
Oh, wait.
What's up?
No, I mean like, you want me to roll 6? Sorry.
6-sider, yep. So in play by post, do slash roll space 1d6. This determines the chance of you able to intuitively detect any signs of there being a bag out here. Low is good. Do slash roll space 1d6. You got a 2.
2.
Okay. And typically, again, this is to detect any signs of a hidden bag or sack or something in this case. So you're looking to see if you notice any of that, right? I also have to roll a counter roll to see if they even exist out here. So the counter roll in that case, I'd say would be about also 2 and 6. So kind of the same chance. So if I roll a 2 and 6, it does exist. 1 or 2 means that there is one out here. All right, so there isn't, and basically because you roll a 2, your character is able to take some time to observe, and you see nothing, right? You took some time, observe your surroundings for any signs out here in the field, and at this time, you can spend more time if you want, but usually a 30 by 30, or sorry, a 10 by 10 area in the wilderness, 10 yards, so a 30 foot by 30 foot area. You can take some time to carefully observe it, to study it, and intuitively guess or decide if there's any signs of a bag out there. As you studied some random plot of grass, you saw no signs of a bag on that plot of grass that you searched.
That's fair.
Do you want to keep moving?
I was gonna say, as I continue,
Yeah.
I'll probably just continue on to the hamlet.
Okay.
I'll probably have better chances there.
Yep, within the housing and all that. The next thing you see up ahead is the marketplace, and you see one of the crew members are out there kind of looking over the some of the various left behind goods, right? That's EMRYS, the fighter. He's out there looking through some of it. You want to check that out too? The stalls? Market stalls?
I would check the market stalls, but I'm not looking for spoiled food or tools. I'm looking for like
A bag.
a wicker basket or something.
A basket, yeah, sure.
Or a bag.
Yeah.
Something to carry our supposed loot in.
Sounds good. Yeah, containers out there. Any signs of a container as you approach the marketplace. And actually,
Specifically when the
you can already see some up there.
outerwear.
Yep, there are definitely some baskets at the base of the stalls. Some of them are on the stalls. So various kinds of storage devices. They don't look like they're in the best condition because they've been out here for a while, over a month since they've been abandoned. So they might have some damage, maybe holes and such. It might not function as properly as it should, right? But it's still as it is, right? What you might be looking for. Maybe not perfect, but similar, right? So again, pots, baskets, some kind of bag out there might be damaged, but we'll see. As you do that, as you approach those various objects, do you want to study them further?
I would like to try to find the one in best condition.
Yeah,
And also, I'll be right back.
sure. As that's going on, Plum, did you want to just follow Asher over to the market stalls and look at various storage devices with him, or do you want to do something else? Your job here is to find and destroy monsters and loot, right? So, do you want to help him, I guess, find some containers to help your crew loot? Or do you want to do something else? Most of the crew half the crew is going out to go hunt frogs or look for frogs to kill. Some of us are looting, right? What do you want to do though?
As soon as he walks away from that area, I presume that he didn't find anything.
Yeah.
Since I didn't get to catch up to and speak to him.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go ahead and then head towards where Star is. See what she's up to, because she noticed a well, right?
She did notice a well earlier, but she's not over there. She's at the market. She's with Asher. She's been there before Asher actually. So she's been looking over the goods there. The various.
Alright, well yeah, that makes sense for my character to go to next.
Okay, yep,
Since
you're
it
at the
seems
market.
Yeah, I was looking for bags.
You want to look for bags there too? Is that your action?
Yeah.
Okay, very well. All right, back to EMRYS, right? Before Plum and Asher ever got to the marketplace, you were, of course, looking over the various goods here. You started with the, was it the tool stall or the food stall? Or the empty
The
stall?
tool store.
All right, tool stall. So, yeah, various mundane supplies here that are not in the best condition, right? So, this can include, for example, damp torches. It could include dirty bandages. It might also include various store devices that have holes and cracks in them now, right? So like a broken pot on the ground, a sack with bugs and holes in it, or a basket with mold in it, right? Would you be interested in any of those devices?
No. Can I do something else?
Yeah, what's that? What's your next move?
Can I ask Plum to come with me to go to the well?
Sure, yeah. Let's get a reaction from her. So Plum, you were about to start when you got there. Emery's waited for you and made you an offer. So you got over there. You were about to start searching for bags, but he's got an offer for you. What do you think? You want to hear it out again?
Yeah. So as soon as I walk, basically, they're like, actually, I want to look at something else. I just nod and I go, yeah, it seems like you were looking at something by the wells earlier. Wanted to ask about that.
Emery, you want to reply? Yeah, you guys
I
can
sus-
discuss. That's fine.
Yeah, I suspect I think there's like treasure in the well because one of our teammates did say that, so I think we should go check it out.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that sounds pretty worthwhile.
Okay, cool.
All right. So the two of you are now headed over to the well. It sounds like. All right, we're gonna head back to Samaguturajan's turn. So you made your way over past the residential, past the store and granary, and you're at the next area of the hamlet, the far northwest. Right before you get to the creek, there's the wood cutting lodge or area, right? So you see like various stumps and wood piles and tools for wood cutting, sheds and such, right? It's a large wood cutting workstation here. It's
Are the
abandoned.
tools loadable?
Yeah, there
Are
are
they in
some.
good condition?
Yes, decent condition. I mean, not the best.
So
They're rusty here and there. They've been out in the
what
open.
what would you say is like their overall value in total?
For the tools, okay, so half of the tools are not good and half are. The ones that are not good are the ones out in the open. Those are rusty, maybe even moldy or damaged from rain, right? Like the wood might be, of course, a bit cracked or not very good, right? But the ones in the shed, as you go through it and check those ones out if you want. You want to check those ones out? The ones in the lodge, the shed.
Yeah, sure.
Those might be in better condition. Okay. So it turns out about maybe 25 coppers worth of good tools remained in the shed, in the lodges and such, right? These include various wood cutting tools like hatchets, axes. Let's see. Let me look up some more. No saws. This is not a sawmill
Right.
here. Or actually, there might be some saws. Yeah. Do you want
I'm
those
gonna tell
tools?
Siren to not.
Siren's not with
tell
you.
the crew about these.
No, Siren's not with you. He left
Okay,
you.
I'm just gonna back them real quick so nobody sees it.
All right. Well, various tools here are too large to fit in your bag, right? Your bag is a certain size. You can only fit certain sized items. What kind of bag you have again? You have
I don't know.
a knapsack, right? So it can only fit normal to small sized items, right? Or small or less. Normal or smaller, basically. So by normal, barely fittable, but maximum is normal size. So like a short sword might barely fit in there, for example, right? Like something that's 1 foot long might barely fit because
Yeah,
it's the
but
knapsack.
I'll just take everything I can and I'll use my arms to get the rest. Like put
Bundle
them
it
up
up.
on my shoulders.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you bundle up the tools. You'll take up one of your arms to carry the tools over your shoulder, and then all the smaller ones you'll stuff into your knapsack. How's that?
Yeah.
And again, it's 25 coppers worth of tools, and it weighs roughly, let's see, it runs or it weighs about 25 pounds as well. So it's weight to value ratio is equal. That means it's not that good, right? Because you have to carry 25 pounds for 25 coppers worth of gear. That might win. By the way, once you sell it, it's only about 12 to 13 coppers, depending on who you sell it to, right? Market price. So it's not the best load of loot, weight distribution wise, but it's still something, right? You've got that loaded in. I'll say half of it just fits in your bag, and the other half you carry by hand. So, like the wood axes, for example, right? That doesn't fit in your knapsack. It's too long and heavy and big, cumbersome. All right. So yeah, as you work on that, as you go around the wood cutting lodge for all those various tools. All right. You are surprised in mid shift of your job. Let's see the reaction. So, at close proximity, right? While you were in the ledge or the lodge, grabbing out some tools, you turn around to see someone's at the doorway of the shed you're at, and it's not SYREN. It's a man with a beard, and he's kind of you didn't even hear him walk in. Basically, he's just standing at the doorway, and he's kind of like soaked, maybe. His eyes are large, and his body's kind of bloated looking, right? He stinks like a fish. He's in the doorway. He came in through a side where no
Which
other character
doorway?
might see, right? It's the doorway. It's the back door of the building you're in, right? Because naturally they have a
Okay.
door that accesses the woods a lot quicker, right? So this door's to
Yeah.
the north, right? Your
Uh,
crew wouldn't have seen him coming.
I don't really yeah, that's cool.
There's two doors to this building you're in, by the way. There's the door you came through and the back door. So
Yeah. So do I get to do an action or?
yeah, you're in an encounter right now. So what do you do about that when you see
Okay.
this guy?
I'm gonna just spit on the ground and walk off back outside.
Okay, go for the door. Okay, he's friendly. Perhaps he reacts in favor to your action. He just observes you walking out, right? So you leave him alone. Okay, we're gonna come back to you. We're gonna go over to SYREN. SYREN, you went to the storehouse, right? Which is not far from the granary. It's somewhere in the middle of the Hamlet ruins. So yeah, the storehouse is open, right? It was evacuated. The villagers were told to bring anything valuable, but they couldn't bring everything when they evacuated, right? So some of it was left behind. It's been a month, so there has been looting. You're not the first to come here and loot, naturally. So you might be salvaging what scraps no one wanted to take, right? Like various heavy goods that no one would want to transport unless they had time and the will and bravery to do so. But the majority of the stuff in the storehouse that might be valuable to you is super heavy. You've got logs, wooden logs, right? Like tons of wood in here, wood supply, planks of wood. You've got wood, logs, stone piles. Again, all of this stuff is only valuable in bulk, right? So it might not be worth its weight in gold. Does that make sense? So there are valuables, but it's not valuable to take because it's just so heavy. It's not very profitable. You would have to carry at least 100 pounds or 200 pounds of wood just to get one copper, right? And you need a vehicle to transport that much wood. So again, yeah, that's what the storehouse has the majority of. All these smaller, more valuable items were probably already taken, right, and evacuated. So right now, just gonna let you know, there's a few various goods here that still are in the storehouse, and they're all not good weight to value ratio, right? Unless you really want to put the effort in and take it all. SYREN. So again, it's
Nah,
wood,
I
planks, and
wanna
stone.
leave and just check around.
Okay. Just you want to investigate, look around, see if you see anything else in here, like monsters or treasures or traps. Because right now you don't see anything else. You're just looking through the doorway, though.
No, I want to go out.
Move
I
on.
want to go out and look around.
Okay, where are you going next? I can describe your environment. You're in the middle of the hamlet right now. East of you is residential. North of you is also residential, and south of you is residential. Northwest of you is the woodcutting lodge. Southeast of you is back the way you came, toward the market. Far to the northwest is the creek. Far to the north is the woods. Far to the south would be back to town, right? right? Far to the east would be the next abandoned hamlet. So which direction you want to move or explore?
I'll go to the
Want to check out a residential?
go to the well.
Okay, yeah, you saw the well a long time ago on the south side of the village, right? So you're gonna head over to where you saw that well earlier. All right, we're gonna come back to you. We're gonna move on to the party's very much split up. So sorry for the longer turns. If and thanks for your patience. Right, we have to get everyone a turn to play. So since we're split up, we have to do it like this. But yeah, we're gonna move on to the next turn is gonna be Asher's turn. So yeah, Asher, you arrived at the marketplace and you took some time to observe for any kinds of bags here, and there are some storage devices, but like I kind of mentioned to you, you observed and you can clearly see various storage devices here. You can take the time to intuitively guess if any of them are good, or you can just get hands-on and look into them, right? Pick them up, check for any signs of damage. And yes, they're all pretty much damaged, right? So all the sacks are a bit moldy, got like holes in them, got like, openings that are not, suitable for carrying smaller items in them anymore. It will just leak out, right? When it comes to the pots, they have cracks and chips, right? They have holes. When it comes to the baskets might be the best, but they have damage too, right? The baskets are more so toward the food stall area, and inside them is moldy food, so they stink. They stink like hot garbage, like horse flies and maggots, right? Like rot, like moldy fruit and expired meat, right? Maggots crawling all over them, and there's like liquids oozing out of it too, right? From all the juices of the rotting and spoiled food. Would you want any of those store devices, or do you want to move on or something else?
The baskets.
Yep.
Historically speaking, by the way, the baskets can carry a decent amount of weight.
Yep, that's true.
If some of them that have like rotten meat and all that in them are still structurally sound, then I'll take it and I'll just wash it out in the creek.
All right, sounds good. Yep, you can do that. Washing is definitely an option. Repairs are definitely an option. Yeah, the baskets look like they're in the best condition, or the best condition compared to all the other store devices. The worst part about them is that they're leaking juices, right? They've got some mold. They've got some, weak points like cracking and fraying in the structure. But overall, they're still pretty good compared to like all the other store devices, right? So yeah, you pick up a basket. Various sizes exist: small, normal, and large. To give you an idea of how much how big these are and the capacity. I'll go over that in a moment. I'm just gonna check out the basket section. So yeah, your let's see, basket. Okay, your normal basket, you can imagine, is a 3-pound basket, carries up to 30 pounds of gear. Okay, your small basket is about maybe, we'll say like 1-pound baskets or 2-pound baskets, right? 1-pound baskets carry 10 pounds, 2-pound baskets carry 20 pounds, and we've got larger ones like 6-pound baskets and 5-pound baskets. They carry about 50 to 60 pounds, right, respectively. So between all these various baskets, again, I'm going to say that there's about 6 of them. Okay, we'll say that there's 2 normal baskets, 2 smaller baskets, and 2 larger baskets. Between those 6 various baskets, which one do you want to take?
I'll be taking the largest size if I am able to wear it on my back.
The largest basket, it has no straps. It's not a strapped basket. It's just a normal basket. You would have to carry it by hand or by vehicle. Unless you want to implement straps in there, you'll have to find other materials or devices to attach a strap to it. Carry device.
Do any of them have straps?
We'll say like 3 of them. Half of them have like some kind of carry capacity. You see, there's one of the smaller ones are strung, so they could be worn around your neck. And the 2 normal baskets, we'll say that they've got like slings on them, so you could wear them like a satchel almost, right?
I'll
So they're
take
slung.
one of the medium ones that are in best condition. That
Okay.
have the straps and all that.
Yep. The issue with it is mainly it's just filthy, right? You pick it up
Yeah.
between the two smaller ones, or medium normal ones. One is kind of filled with rotten fruit and vegetables, or no, rotten fruit, and the other one's filled with rotten vegetables, right? So just you dump it out, it's wet, it stinks, right? There are flies and all kinds of maggots in there, ants and shit. But yeah, you dump it and you're gonna maybe carry it over to the creek to wash. Disease is a normal part of our game. At least 90% of adventurers will die from disease over time, of course. 10% might die, or usually about 1% can die in a single session, which is rare. So if you had 20 characters, one might get a disease and die. Um, only when you're exposed to disease-ridden objects, such as a bacteria-infested basket, right? So, of course, you're gonna pick it up and wash it, but there are still germs. So,
That's fair.
all right. Yep. So you pick that thing up. You're gonna carry it to the creek now. Is that fine? The closest way to get to the creek is northwest. Unless you want to take a longer route and go around the hamlet, you can go west or north around the hamlet to get to the creek. But if you want to go northwest, the shortest route is through the hamlet.
I mean, is there anyone else near the creek with me? Because right now I'm still in the market where multiple people are. It's
You're
time to
alone in the
stick with
market,
people.
but the nearest people to you is EMRYS and PLUM, who are at the well right now.
I mean, can I just wash it in the well? Question mark. Well, water.
Yeah, you can go over to the well and maybe haul some water up and wash it that way.
Yeah, then I'll probably do that. Go over to the well with them.
Yep. All right. In the meantime, while you were out at the market, we're gonna go to EMRYS and PLUM's turn. Okay. So EMRYS and PLUM, it's your turn now. Hopefully you're still with us. Thanks for your patience. Okay, so EMRYS and PLUM, let me just double check. Are you with us? Deputy and Star?
Yeah.
All right, perfect. Deputy? She might not be here. Oh, is your mic not working? We can't hear you for speaking, but I think I saw you on mute. Okay. Maybe try reconnecting, Deputy, because we can't hear you. All right, try again. She have perms to speak now. Okay. I mean, I know she's here. She's just having difficulties to her mic right now. So, huh?
They say they can't hear anyone.
They can't hear anyone either. Okay, her stuff is bugging out. Technical difficulties. All right. We're gonna continue your turn though. We can't slow down because we have a limited time to play. So in the meantime, Plum is gonna kind of just be out of it. She's kind of following EMRYS around, but not actively taking any particular role to help. Right? It's kind of like concerned. Oh, she's back. Okay, awesome. All right. Well, let's resume where we left off with you two. You reach the well, of course. What do you want to do when you get there? The well is, a normal village well, or yeah, it's got a rope and a bucket.
I'll suggest to Plum if she's willing to jump in the bucket, and I lower her down into the well and see if there's treasure down there.
Okay. What do you think, Plum?
If you're down, though.
Yeah, I'm down.
Okay, cool.
Okay. The bucket is small. It's not large enough for her to sit inside. She can step on it, and you can lower her down using the rope. She can hold on to the rope, or you can tie it around her or something, and you can carefully lower her into the well if you want.
Yeah.
Is that what you want to do, or how do you want to get her down there? Because she can't fit in the bucket. You realize it's too small.
I'll wrap her with rope.
Okay, so use the well's rope on her.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to take the bucket off before you do that, or leave it on?
Leave it on. Leave it on.
All right. So let's say you like wrap the rope around her. You want to just kind of tie it around her waist. Get it looped
Yes.
around her waist. Okay. You kind of tie a knot there too, maybe. All right. It's not. It doesn't look the safest, I suppose, but it's better than nothing. All right. And then Plum, you're gonna hold on tight as she lowers you down. EMRYS, are you sure you want to do this just by yourself, lowering her down, or do you want to get some backup maybe? Because it's you versus her weight as you lower her down and eventually haul her out, right? So,
Is Silk gonna come or no?
we'll see. He's not
Okay.
here yet. Yeah,
Before,
he's
like,
nowhere in sight. for
Okay,
you.
before I load her down like the thing, I'll wait for Silk to come
Okay.
just for extra backup.
All right, yeah. But bear in mind, you have no idea where he is. Like your character, EMRYS, there's no telekinesis, no telepathy, no comms, right? He might have said that as a player that he's headed toward you, but EMRYS wouldn't know that he's headed toward her. All she knows, the last time she saw SYREN, was he went out into the hamlet with SAMAGUTURAJAN, right? So, but yeah, you will wait around for backup, despite you having no signs of backup nearby, right? I mean, actually, there is. Asher's headed over to you right now, so that would be, yeah, that's closest form. You wouldn't know that SYREN's headed toward you, but I guess he is, right? To find out, since you acted on information your character technically wouldn't know, EMRYS, you kind of like walked around scanning the area for any signs of your crew. You maybe spotted SYREN headed toward you guys from a distance, right? From the middle of the village over to you, just walking in your direction, but he's pretty far. He's far out, and he's a lot further than Asher, who's actually on his way to you right now, right? But we'll come back to that. We're going to move all the way back to the next person's turn, which is actually, I think, from you two, it goes on to SAMAGUTURAJAN's turn, right? So SAMAGUTURAJAN, you're at the woodcutting lodge area, right? You just walked out of one of the buildings there, right, where they stored the tools. When you get outside, you're out in the open, still in the woodcutting camp. Here.
Yeah. I'm going back where I came from.
Okay. Where you came from? So you're going back where you came from. You just came from the house. You want to go back into the house? Is that what you mean? Or do you want to go further? You want to go back to
Yeah, back to town basically.
oh back to town? Like all the way back to Stavos?
Yeah.
Okay, Stavos is you might remember southeast, right? Somewhere southeast, so you want to move southeast?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright. Onward. So yeah, SYREN, you're walking out from the storehouse area, making your way back toward where you remember seeing the well. And you're in the streets right now, and you see a couple kids in the residential area approaching you, right? They look bloated and grotesque, and their eyes are bulging. They're south of you, so they're walking toward you right now. And they start to go on all fours. Let's see the reaction to you. Yeah, they're like,
Scout?
they're gonna react normally to you, so as they would normally react to a human in the area. So they're kind of just walking normally toward you, right? You wanna
Like, where's like the market or the well compared to that?
southeast, mostly south from your position.
So
And
they're in the way.
these guys, they came out from the residential, looks like, these kids, but they don't look normal, of course. Yeah, they're walking toward you right now.
Can I like go around them to the well ish?
Yeah, so do you remember where the well was from here? Right now you're just kind of headed back the way you came, which was you went northwest through the hamlets, you're going south, or you're trying to go southeast then, right? Toward the market. But they're between you and all of that, right? So if you start to veer off to the west or east, they start to kind of recourse, right? Because they're coming toward you.
Can I start running?
Which way? They're south of you. So if you go southeast, you're running toward them. If you're going south, that's toward them still. If you go southwest, that's toward them. The only way away is east, west, or north, right? But east and west is not directly away. It's, slightly away. So they can still catch up to you. The opposite direction would be north. But that's away from your crew. That will separate you even deeper. right?
What is north?
North of you is more residential, and you see more frog people coming out from the north as well. So you're surrounded. You're in the middle of the hamlet by yourself. What do you want to do? Stand there and hesitate and think?
I want to go east.
East. Okay. You see someone coming out. Remember I told you the residential is north, east, and south, right? So the residential east, there's some frog people coming out, right? Some bloated looking humans. They walk out of the houses, right? And they come out looking at you with their bulging eyes. They try to like stand normally. You see them kind of crawl out and stand up and start walking like a human, or try to at least. They kind of croak and say, "Hello? Hello?" That's what one says to the east, right? Good morning. All right, what do you want to do? You just stand there? You want to go east toward him? There's a bigger frog man to the east.
I guess I'll go west then.
West is into the storehouse. You want to go back in the storehouse? Or
Can I
go
go
past it?
around the-
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, sure. Get to the western side of the hamlet. Okay. Yeah, you're kind of hesitant, and because you were hesitant, they got a lot closer, right? So they're catching up to you. You were looking south, you look north, you look east, then you go back west. By the time you turn west, you see some more of them there too, right? So they got you surrounded. So, all right. Back to who's next? It's from SYREN we go to Asher, right? Asher, you're moving west toward the well, and you see EMRYS kind of like walking back and forth, observing into the hamlet for SYREN now, right? And EMRYS, you see SYREN, he's headed toward you, but suddenly he kind of halts. He doesn't, you see him walking for a bit, and then he halts, and you kind of see what he's doing. He's looking south and north and east, and you start to see people are around him. Like they're coming out from the houses, they're gathering around him. So at that point, Emrys, do you want to change actions and maybe go up to SYREN or something else?
Can I quickly untie Plum and
Yeah, she's tied up right now.
yeah, can I quickly untie her and then can I regroup with Asher?
Asher's coming toward you right now, actually. So, Asher, for you, you're walking toward them. You see Emery's kind of panicking. Maybe he kind of quickly turns around and starts to untie a rope from Plum, who's kind of waiting to get lowered into a well. But back to Plum real quick. Plum, you saw Emery just finished tying you, and after he finished tying you up, he kind of walked off to go look for backup, and then he comes back and starts to untie you. So, how would you react to that, Plum? Like he just starts untying you.
It's kind of funny. So, since it's an odd scenario, my character will just be standing there T-posed, tied up to this well, and then when he unties her, she just goes, "Well, thanks for doing that before you left.
Yeah.
Everything all right there?"
You want to explain yourself, Emrys, or maybe state what you saw?
I would state what I saw. So there's like frog people around us, and we need to get out of the situation.
Okay, and then back to Asher. It was your turn. You were walking over. You see them kind of like at the well, untying each other, or one of those untying each other. So, what's your reaction to that? What do you want to do moving forward? You want to just group up with them or something else? Asher.
I would probably help them.
Help.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. You want to help them how? Like get up there and help her untie Emery's, or
Yeah,
I mean,
sure.
Plum. Okay.
If I need to, if like we really need to leave, which they probably would have told me.
Yeah.
I will abandon the basket altogether because
The filthy
it's not
basket.
worth our lives. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, you're carrying that. You were trying to get that washed, but we're gonna move on back to say you regroup on them. You're quickly helping her finish the untying. You see her. She's kind of panicked, right? Something seems to be happening. All right, back to SAMAGUTURAJAN, right? You were headed back to your group southeast, or maybe all the way back to town. But when you walked out from the lodge, right, you notice directly south of you and east of you, right, between the residential and the center buildings, which are the storehouse and granary, right in the middle. So give you guys some better visuals, maybe, if this is still confusing to you at this point. But
I'm
hopefully you
going
can
west.
imagine. You're gonna go west. West is back. West is like basically back toward the lodge, right?
I'm
Or
going basically away from all that bullshit. So
you're southeast of the lodge right now. You got residential to your west. South of you are some frog-looking people, bloated-looking humans, right? They just walked out of the house. Some of them look north to you because they see you out there in the open. So they kind of wave at you, right? With their frog-like hands that are somewhat human.
dude, I'm going west.
You're going west.
Into the tall grass, close to the creek. Yeah.
Yep, you're going toward the creek. Okay. All right, so you're headed toward the creek, and yeah, those ones to the north, as soon as they see you going for the west, right, they get on all fours and start hopping toward you like a frog, right? So they start hopping, right? And their skin starts to break and explode into a frog, right? The human flesh around them just rips open and they turn into a giant frog and begin rushing toward you, right? Right. They seem almost like even angrier that you're starting to run, right? They give chase. So you run and they run, right?
Nah, I don't run.
You don't run, you walk.
Yeah.
Okay, you walk in that direction and they actually slow down. They don't run actually. They start walking, but they still break skin, right? Their skin peels and they start kind of hopping after you, right? Trying to catch up, but not like trying to. They don't want to scare you off, right? So they start out by just kind of creeping up to you, right? With their longer stretched out arms, right? They become moist and long with their little frog or big ass frog toes and shit, right? They stretch to about whatever length they were as a frog. So if it was a 3 foot human that was a kid, it's a 3 foot frog. If it was a 6 foot, 5 foot human, now it's a 5 foot, 6 foot frog, right? So yeah, they're coming after you. They're walking toward you. They're following you out of the hamlet as you make your way toward the grass and the creek, right? And back to the south, or no, back to SYREN. Yeah, SYREN. You went west, and some of the frogmen to the west actually turned their attention north and went after SAMAGUTURAJAN actually. As you're going west, you see him kind of walking off. He's far northwest of you, and you can see him walking off away from the hamlet, and he's being followed by some frog people that just rip skin and start walking on their frog limbs, right? So, but the other half, they look at you and they like wave at you, right? So let's see their reaction to you actually. Yeah, they're just confused, uncertain, right? They act normal to you or try to be normal. They're like, "Hello, human, fellow human," right? So what do you think, Siren? You wanna talk with them? You can hear the other ones gathering around you from the north and east and south, right? And the ones to the west are talking to you. Hello, human, fellow human. How goes it?
I want to kind of spear charge through the ones to the south.
The ones to the south are nowhere near yet. They're kind of further out. The closest to you, because you went west, are the west ones, right? Unless you mean the south ones of the
I'll
west.
spear charge through the west ones.
Okay, so the one that's greeting you, you're gonna charge him with your spear?
I'm not going to charge them. I'm going to charge past them.
Past them. Okay. So if they're directly, so some of them that were to the west of you went north after your buddy. The other ones are to the south of the west, right? So do you want to run northwest after the ones going for your buddy, or do you want to run directly west? That means you can get intercepted, or you can go southwest, which means you're running toward them, charging past them, but toward them. So does that make sense? So if,
I'll run towards SAMAGUTURAJAN.
yeah,
SAMAGUTURAJAN.
imagine like these are the frogs, right, on the western edge. SAMAGUTURAJAN was north of them, right? He went west, so the ones to the north were following him west, and you've got the ones to your direct west and the ones to your direct southwest, right? So if you go toward him, these guys will follow you, right? And you'll kind of be between these guys and the ones to the south. Does that make sense? But you also have all these other frogs gathering around you from the north, east, and south, right? All following you through the hamlet, right? Frog peoples. What do you think? You want to push? You want to go after SAMAGUTURAJAN, maybe regroup, maybe sandwich that guy or the one frogman that went after him?
Yeah, I want to go with SAMAGUTURAJAN.
Okay, yep, sure. All right, you go after him, and you got all these other frog people on your tail. And we're gonna come back to you. Back to it's gonna be Asher, EMRYS, and PLUM. So you guys finished untying PLUM, and you're ready to move out. And SYREN seems to have taken off somewhere west, maybe. Last time you saw me, like ran off west. The frog people are no longer visible too. They're kind of disappearing because they went after him. So for your 3 crew members, what do you guys think? Your job here was to actually find and destroy the enemy. You have found the enemy, so is it time to destroy them or something else?
I think.
How many are there?
You saw that it was a whole community of frog people living out here. It looks like. Let me double check the numbers real quick. Just a moment. Okay. Let's see. All right. From your angle, you only saw about 5, right? You saw about maybe 2. From your angle, you saw a total of 5. Okay. So from where you're at, you saw like maybe 2 north, 1 east, 1 and 2 south, right? Roughly, that were following him westward through the hamlet. But there might be more, right? So does that make sense? There were various sizes, right? So sizes included half of them were pretty small, like child size. The other half were big, like adult size. So half of them were about 3 feet tall frog peoples, and the other half were about 5 to 6 feet tall frog peoples, right? Does that make sense? So 3 to 4, or yeah, 2 to 3 or 2 to 4 feet tall ones are the smaller ones, so average 3 feet, and then 5 to 6 feet for like the bigger ones. Does that make sense? So yeah, of those 5. And there could be more, right? You just saw 5, and that already outnumbers you. It's a 5v3 if you want to go after those 5.
I was going to suggest to the entire group. I would have had seen the frog people, right?
Yep, you guys have seen them now, so. Well, Asher, you didn't see them yet, I think.
Oh no,
Yeah.
not yet.
You haven't seen them yet. Only Emery saw them, and maybe no, I don't even think that Plum got to see them yet, right? So she just told you that they're there,
Oh, she told me that they're there?
or Emery's told you guys that they're there. Yeah,
Well,
like you guys are
know,
together.
If my character knew that there was an enemy in presence,
Yeah.
the first thing I think of is I'm gonna suggest that if we can, we climb on top of the hamlet houses to get to high ground
Mm-hmm.
on these frogs to pick them off while they try to climb up to us.
Okay, so you share your thoughts on that, and let's hear from Emery's and Plum. So Emery's and Plum, as Asher regroups on you and you kind of explain the situation to him and such, or you guys kind of get on the same page. You know, Asher shared his thought on combat tactics or strat, but Emery's, what's your action or thoughts, or what do you want to do or say at this point?
I would suggest that we regroup, so we follow
Go where you saw Siren.
no, what's his name?
You have no idea where SAMAGUTURAJAN is, if that's what you're talking about. Last time you saw him was at the beginning of the expedition. He's been long gone, right? For all you know, he might be dead.
Okay,
Oh, I'm so sorry. I was gonna point out
continue.
if
Continue.
we do follow them, then we might just get surrounded too.
Okay. Yeah, let's go with your plan. Let's go on top of the houses and I guess fight.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if you guys think it's a lost battle, you don't have to fight, by the way. Like, it's your choice, right? The goal is to survive, and if you think that there's no possible way you can win this battle anymore because you guys are split up and there's just no possible chance, don't force yourself to take an action that you think is going to get you to lose. If you need to withdraw, you still have the option to. You 3 have the option to retreat, recover, recuperate, replan, right? So if you want to stand your ground and do a final stand at level 0, that's fine, but
I think we should just retreat.
Yeah, I
Okay.
thought we were
Yeah.
surrounded.
But
as
bear in
well.
mind,
My
okay,
bad.
yeah, you have little to nothing to lose. But campaign-wise, for the long-term players, when your characters die, you're some of the few men and women in the village that can actually protect this town, right? You're some of the few that can, right? So if you die, you're gonna cook the campaign for those who are gonna play in the future even more. By the way, the only reason why these hamlets or villages are even as cooked as they are is because of the past groups before you cooking the campaign, right? So these hamlets were originally peaceful and calm, but of course, past groups failed their expedition. If you guys get your characters killed, you'll bring us closer and closer to defeat. Just a warning, right? It maybe not important for one session, but for long-term players, mainly concerning Star here, right? Star, it's gonna cook you guys even more if you do a final stand here, right? There's gonna be less and less women
Like I
and men.
said, I would like to retreat if we can.
Yeah.
But
So Asher wants to
Yeah, I think we should
retreat.
specifically
retreat.
told us that we were also surrounded.
Yeah, you guys are not surrounded yet, but they are, right? So they've been cut off, and they already took us. They already did mistake one, split the crew, right? Especially go alone. Go off alone. It's not bad maybe to split off and cover more ground, but of course, once you're alone and surrounded and cut off, it's you know easy math there, right? So you two are retreating. What about Plum? What do you think? Unfortunately, the situation looks kind of cooked, but if you want to be brave, you can, right? So
Yeah, we don't have enough tools, supplies, or ways to defend ourselves, let alone protect somebody else. So I'm just gonna follow along with their plan and retreat, despite the fact that having a vantage point sounds good. There
yeah,
might be frogs inside of the houses as well.
We get it.
choke points, high
So-
ground. All right, you consider it all, but
Yeah.
eventually you retreat. The three of you have the time to plan it out, and you eventually, fall back. We're gonna go back to SAMAGUTURAJAN's turn. So you ran toward the west, toward the creek, or no, you walked, right? So you walked, and as you walk, you realize something's getting distance on you, or those people, right? They've turned to frogs now, like supernaturally, almost like a fairy tale, right? Their skin peeled off, they're bloody looking, slimy frogs now, mutant frogs. A 6 foot long frog is walking after you, right? You bad, you bad, right?
Yeah,
And he's
I'm
catching
gonna
up.
go ahead and continue running, and I'll take out a ration, hold it in one hand.
Okay, I have another thing for you. So you were going west, right? You were between the residential and between the lodge, right? So when you were reaching the end of this alleyway, basically, someone around the corner was waiting for you. It's that frog from earlier, right? He turned into a frog as well, and he comes around the corner ready to intercept you. So you're trapped between two frogs now, right? What do you want to do?
I'm just gonna toss him a ration and keep going.
Okay, so you go for a ration. Let's see how he reacts to that. Immediate attack, right? So as you're middle of that, he leaps at you, right? Pounces on you. And you know how a small frog can jump in real life, right? How far they can jump? Well, now they are man-sized frogs. You can imagine how they would jump if they were man-sized, right? Even further, right? So this guy leaps at you from around the corner of the building. This huge, massive, 6 foot long frog person basically pounces on you. 6 foot long. The other ones behind you are one 6 foot long. The other two are like 3 feet long, right? Smaller ones. But yeah, you got two bigs on you. You got two smalls, right? The one that rounds the corner leaps at you is like very happy, big open mouth, right? You ready your weapon against him, or you still pull the ration out?
Well, it doesn't really impact my mentality, so I'm just gonna run away.
Okay, let's see if you're fast enough. Maybe you can dodge him, right? Roll a 6-sided initiative to see if you dodge his leap, right? He leaps at you, full froggy leap around the corner. You're like a little cricket to him, right? He just pounces on you. All right, you gotta beat a 5.
I got a 2.
He acted faster than you, unfortunately, and he did jump onto this little bug, right? Which is you, sadly, in this case. And he tries to swallow you, right? He tries to hold you down and eat you. So let's see how his attack goes. That is a 15 a hit. That is a hit. And we're going to roll damage. Let's see. So the froggy, of course, holds you down with his talons, right? And he bites down over your body with his slimy, powerful jaws. And he crushes down on you. But the talons only deal 1 to 2 damage, fortunately. So let's just see how much damage. So they dig into you for 1 to 2 damage, the frog's talons. Okay, so its odds is 1s and evens is 2. So you took 1 damage immediately. So upon the initial crash, right, as he jumps onto you and pounces on you, you took 1 damage. Okay, let's see if that killed you. All right, so it turns out SAMAGUTURAJAN is a fucking tank, right? So this 6 foot frogman crashes down on you, digging its claws in you, and it's only a light wound. But then it puts its mouth around you, or tries to at least, and tries to chomp down. And let's see if he's able to wrap his jaws on over your face, right? As he tries to crush and break bone, like he would do a cricket, right? Fortunately, that's a 12, so that's also a hit. So as he holds you down, he wraps his slimy mouth around you, swallowing your upper half and crushing down, breaking, crushing through your ribs. Let's see the damage. The damage for his crushing bite is going to be a total of a D4. So let's check out the damage. You took 1. You survive it, right? So he's biting down, but you're holding back. You're like, you got your elbows to your side. Maybe you're just tanking it, right? You're getting chomped, and you're like, you feel all the pressure collapsing your lung, crushing down in your ribs. You still have time to struggle and break free, maybe. So what's your response? Now that you're still not dead, but you're about to die, and you're in the mouth and jaws of a giant frog, what do you want to do?
Not really afraid of it. I'm just
Okay.
gonna escape and run away.
So how do you want to escape? You want to like, you're inside of it, right? Your upper half. Do you want to like punch? You want to bite down? You want to wriggle free? You want to just like push your arms outward?
I'm gonna get my head out of the mouth and I'm gonna run away.
Okay, so you're gonna forcibly rip yourself out. Okay, so roll initiative again, and as you're doing that, the other frogs are coming from behind. The other big frog comes from behind, so you're already kind of half engulfed, and the other one comes in from behind and joins in on the fun, right? So you try to wriggle free, but before you can, they'll just sit there and watch. The other bigger frog fights for your legs, right? So you're like standing there or you're on the ground basically, and then you feel your legs grabbed onto, so the talons of the other frogman grab and grip around your calves, and he like tightens and crushes your shins and your calves, right? And tries to tear into them with his talons. It's basically an auto hit in this case, but we'll still roll just in case. Fortunately, it was so low of a roll that it means that your character was able to keep his legs wriggling, right? So you struggle, you don't give him your legs. He's grabbing on, but you can like twist your character, of course, is resisting because he chooses to resist, right? You move your legs a bunch and he can't get a good grip. But then he tries to bite down instead, right? And let's see how the bite goes. That's a 5. And you fight him off, right? You're kicking and wailing your legs. And you can feel him trying to get his slimy jaws around your legs, trying to chomp down in your lower half, and you kick out of it. You kick free out of that. But now in the following round, you're trying to break free physically. So roll a 6-sider for initiative to see if you can rip yourself out before he continues to chomp down. You got a 3 versus a 2. So they're gonna roll together. And yeah, you won. So go ahead. You're gonna do a force doors check. So 1d2 to rip yourself free. If you get a 1 or a 2. Or 3 because no wait, let's check your strength. 1 or 2, you pass, right? You rip free. You forcibly yank yourself out. At least your upper half. What'd you get?
The 2. I mean the 1. Sorry.
You gotta roll a d6.
Oh, you said a D2. So.
Sorry, my bad. I said a 1 or a 2 on a d6. Pass. All right. So. Yeah, you forcibly rip yourself free out of the big one, the one on your upper half. You like grab onto his you grab onto his jaws, push yourself out of him, right? Slime all over you. And as you push yourself out though, he still attacks you, right? So even though you broke free, he continues to dig his claws into you and chomp down. So you broke free, you got
He's not
a
gonna
moment
kill
of
me.
breath air, but here comes the claws. That's a hit.
He's not
And here
gonna
comes the
kill me.
chomp. That's also, let's check your armor class. A hit. Yeah, you have an 8 dexterity. You have no armor.
They're
So
not
yeah,
gonna kill me.
you broke free. You got a little breath of fresh air. You in your mindset is they're not gonna kill me. You're a fighter or a magic user, right? I mean, and you think that they're not gonna kill you. You broke free, but unfortunately they already have their intent, which is to immediately attack and kill and eat because they're pretty hungry and they haven't had a good meal in a while. So yeah, unfortunately, as you have that final thought in your head, the claws are digging deeper into your sides. Blood bursts out and spurts all over the place, and then he, re-engulfs you. Right? He re-swallows you and chomps down.
Well, my
And,
final thought is this
yeah.
crew was ass. So.
Okay, very well. For damage, you took from the claws 1 damage, so you survived the claw. Oh no, wait, you went down to 0 at that point. And then for the bite, that killed you, of course. And yeah, the claws dig in.
I have 4 HP, by the way.
I know. You already took some damage earlier. So yeah, the claws dig in, and then the bite crushes it. The second bite this time, he bites down and twists, right? And that basically crushes bone and twists his bone and muscle and rips it and kind of like twists your body in like like he takes your body, like twists it 180, right? The other one's biting down your legs, and they kind of work together to bite down with heavy force and then rip you in half, and like blood just spurts everywhere, all in your guts and your innards, right? They swallow it all, right? They chomp down on you. The baby ones come on in and eat what's left, right? They kind of go for the scraps on the ground, right? Okay. Well, that's the loss of our first casualty. The one who gets to witness this is SYREN. So SYREN, you were right behind the big guy that was chomping down on him from the rear. The smaller ones, while that was going on, actually turned around to face you, and then as you are between the smaller ones, and you got the ones to your back as well. So the ones to your back include 3 biggers and 2 smallers, because we killed one of the smalls yesterday. So it's 3 bigs to the east and 2 smalls to the east, right? Basically, they all gathered around you. Do you want to just surrender? You want to give up? You are surrounded, and you see them munching on, tearing through SAMAGUTURAJAN, right?
I'm gonna try and run past the ones that are eating SAMAGUTURAJAN.
Okay, so only things between them and you are the 2 smaller ones, right? Who were trying to follow and see what was going on, right? So these 2 are in your way. Let's see their reaction to you. The reaction is hostile, possible attack. So it looks like if you do something they don't like, they will attack you, right? So they see you, they walk toward you, and what do you want to do? You want to just run past them? That might make them attack you, right?
No, I'm just gonna walk
You're gonna walk?
with my
Okay.
shield up.
So let's see. You walk with your shield up. So let's see their new reaction to that. You walk forward, and again, it was hostile, possible attack. So it's still hostile, possible attack here. So they won't attack you if you give up, right? The frogs, like, they croak at you and they're like, human, human, right? And the other ones is like, you know, they say, no need fight, no need fight, right? So you're walking out with shield and spear. They say, stop, human, stop, right? As they walk up to you, just 2 smaller ones, and you're walking slow, so the other ones to the east are catching up, right? All the east
I
ones.
wanna say, I'm gonna try and gaslight them, or not gaslight them. I'm gonna try and trick them. I'm gonna say, I can teach you more English so you can blend in.
Okay. Let's see. You say that, and they react normally or uncertain. Maybe consider your offer, right? So they say, can human teach us in our belly, right? Human teach us if we eat him. And the other ones gather around you. The ones behind you, their intent is they're in favor. They want to just hear this conversation out. So the ones to the east, they don't attack immediately. They don't, they just kind of keep their distance now. You're kind of completely surrounded, and you are in the midst of conversation with 2 smaller mutant frogs, right? So they're like, human teach us.
I'm gonna say, if you let me leave, I can bring supplies and books to help you learn so you can get more food.
Let me see if they will, how they react to that. Confused. They say, how can trust?
Just do.
I'm not sure. We not sure.
But you shouldn't be sure. You can hear my English is really good.
The other one's behind. Let's see how they react to this now. They are hostile, possible attack. So they start to move up to you. They will attack you if you don't let them move up, right? So they're moving up to you, right? The ones to the east are creeping up to you. Given that they're creeping up, and you probably know what they're about to do, right? So they don't have to attack you to eat you. They might just eat you, right? So they're kind of creeping up to you. You can feel them right behind you. The ones to your west are just kind of still considering your offer, right? Do you want to keep talking or something else? And the other 2 big ones are just swallowing. They're kind of swallowing your buddy there. But as they swallow him, you see they use their claws to peel off his skin, right? And like you can see, like, yeah, they're peeling off his skin, and they're kind of like skinning him as they peel him, right? Like if they were to eat a worm, right, they can rip the worm's kind of outside off, exterior, and then swallow the innards, right? So they're kind of peeling them apart and swallowing the good innards, the guts, the meat, right? Tearing them apart. And you can see that their skin color are changing. It's like supernatural, like mutant, monstrous, magical skin, right? That kind of bubbles up, and you can see it becomes almost more human color, right? To fit their environment. So their skin becomes more like human skin as they consume them, right? So, and you can see that the skins are falling to the ground. Maybe they're saving it so the others can eat the skin too and help them transmute, right? Help them blend in more. So yeah, they're just swallowing mostly the flesh and partially the skin, but most of the skin they're peeling it off of their buddies, right? Yeah, most of them have already transmuted into frogs at this point, though. They're like half frog, half human. You're surrounded. Which way would you want to run? Basically, the way you choose to run determines who you're feeding, right? So there's two smalls to your west, and the others are all north and east and south of you as they crept up.
So where's the exit?
Originally, I think he was running west, but his exit got cut off by the one that was at the lodge earlier. Came around the corner and cut him off from the west. So there's no exit. You're trapped.
I'm gonna.
I mean, there are less defended areas though. So if you're on the map here, you got the two smalls to your west, and you got about 4 of them to your east, basically. So, and then you got the 2 big ones further west, consuming your buddy. All right, so we're gonna come back to you though. We're gonna wrap up the game because it looks like it's wrapped up. We'll give you some time to think about your action. So when I come back to you, if you don't come up with a solid plan, you're basically done, right? So, back to the rest of the crew. You're gonna get out of there alive. Fortunately, you're gonna get back to town. You're gonna get rewarded for anything that you brought back, which is little to nothing. But hopefully you have a better plan next time or a better idea. You are considered survivors of the expedition. 2 of you never actually even got to see the monsters. You were just informed that they were in the area. But most who actually encountered them never escape, right? Or survive, right? You might see them, but if they don't, most people don't survive an encounter with them, like a confrontation. The frogs have their way with people, usually, right? So yeah, you escaped. Just double checking on you guys though. Asher, PLUM, and EMRYS. You're on your way back to town. But as you're on your way back to town, do you have any questions, concerns, or feedback as you're on your way to town?
Like, as Asher, I look to the other 2.
Yeah.
I'm like, where did the other 2 go? They didn't stick with the group at all.
Right. EMRYS or PLUM, you want to question that? Or I meant respond to Asher? Or just ignore him?
My character is gonna and say, I presumed they went off together, but I didn't see them after one of them went to a shed.
EMRYS, do you want to say anything? Go ahead.
I would say they're probably dead. That's it. And then, yeah.
Asher, is there anything else you want to say or do?
Just that they're most likely dead because we didn't see them exit. So, yeah.
Yep. Left them
Well,
behind.
if they weren't now, then they are going to be. I just want to ask EMRYS, have you ever seen any of them get like the frogs defeated?
Yeah. Yesterday we did defeat one. Steven defeated one. But yeah.
So does it have like any known weaknesses?
From what I can tell, we haven't really seen that, but we can kill them by targeting their throats, their throats.
That's good to know.
All right. So, if you want more information on how they did yesterday or how they were successful the other day, you can check out campaign reports and see what weapon was used, which might give you an idea of the weaknesses or their disadvantages. Just think about in real life though, right? If I want to go frog hunting, if I want to go hunting in general, actually, what weapon would I bring? Would I bring would I bring my baseball bat to go deer hunting, or would I bring my rifle? Right. So think about that. All right. Moving forward, back to the rest of the crew. Samaguturajan's dead. Sorry for your loss, Tulio. You're welcome to spectate or take off. But yeah, you've been killed in action. Thanks for playing. Hope you had fun. I know you probably didn't, but sorry for your loss, bro. And take care, brother. And then of course, Silk, Siren. Did you figure out a plan?
I did.
Okay, what's your move?
I wanna start spinning around my spear and moving it around a lot, and then throw it northwest, and then try and move west towards the exit past the frogs.
Okay, very well. So you spin around. As you spin around, let's see the reaction. The ones to your west, which were considering your offer, by the way, let's see how they react to that. They react confused. They are still considering. They're like, what is he doing now, right? Like, you're spinning, right? So they're confused. The ones to the east, their reaction was hostile possible attack. So they had a condition, right? So if you did not fulfill that condition, they would attack, right? But they also had a goal. Their goal was to just gather around you and hold you down. So as you're mid-spin, the spear gets around them, like, it spins past them for a moment, but as it moves away from them, they move in to grab at you, and you would spin back into them, but at that point, a bunch of sticky hands grab onto you. 2 big paws of frog paws grab onto you, and 2 smaller ones, basically, right? 2 6-foot-long frogs hold you down to the ground, 2 smaller ones hold you down, and rather than eat you, they hold you down, and unfortunately, you're not killed immediately. They hold you down, and instead, of course, you can feel something really bad happening to you, right? You didn't expect it, but they hold you down, and you can feel like some of them are starting to bite down in your hands and your arms and limbs. They take pieces off you, but one of them comes in, and unfortunately for Siren, they use your torso, and you can feel them kind of injecting some strange acidic maybe goop into you, right? You can feel what feels like and this is from a female looking frog man, by the way, but she kind of stuffs something in you. She starts to lay eggs in you, right? So she kind of injects something into you, right? She starts to pump eggs into your gut, maybe to help incubate or cook the children, or so that you can maybe become one, right? So she uses your torso, and also the same thing. The other ones that ripped him in half, they can't really use that torso because they can kind of actually still use it, but the leg's been pulled off. But you don't need your limbs, so they rip off your limbs and start swallowing that, including your head eventually, right? So you're kind of like your head's up, but they mainly need your torso to help incubate their eggs, right? So yeah, the motherly one kind of steps down on you, and you can feel it like some tube going into your underside, and you can feel hot orbs going into you, and it feels disgusting, right? You die before you feel it fully, of course. And that's it. Okay, so I think that is the loss of 2 more characters. So SYREN and SAMAGUTURAJAN have been killed in action today. Okay. If you two decide to come back and play, you will count toward the defeat of the campaign, right? Because you're going to use up some spare men that are in the town. So, of course, we still have a decent amount of men in STAVOS, right, that you can play as. But if you keep dying over time, you'll bring us closer to defeat. There'll be no more men to defend the town, right? It'll be troop after troop leaving the walls to go fight off the enemy. Eventually, there will be too few men to even go out, so they'll have to hold the line, and eventually prepare and brace themselves for the attack, or to be overrun eventually, right? So the frogs are winning the war, right? The frog war to the north. The mutant alien-like frogs, right? Okay, we're gonna go over rewards now. Yeah, again, still sorry for your loss. You've been killed in action. You're welcome to join the next one, of course, and roll a new one. But hope you have fun still. Yeah, take care, brother. You're welcome to spectate for the rest of the game. So, those who survived, you're gonna go through the final part of the game. But before we go into the final, the final part of the game is to get you rewarded, and then the final part actually is optional. It's post game, deciding what your character does after the expedition, right? Usually that time is to, enjoy the spoils of hard-earned gains, but today there's not much gain, right? Mostly loss. We're gonna go over any kills or treasures you brought back, and I'm trying to remember if there were any, but I don't think there were. So can you guys remind me if you guys found any and brought any treasures back or killed any monsters? EMRYS, do you remember? Did you take any of the? No, you didn't take any tools or supplies, right?
No, I didn't bring back anything.
Okay. And then Asher was about to bring back a basket, but he dropped it, and the basket wasn't valuable anyway. So,
Except for carrying stuff in it.
yeah. So, I suppose if you want Asher, you could, since we left, you could have just taken it anyway, brought it back. It's not gonna give you XP
Yeah,
or
sure.
money, but it's just a
Yeah.
tool that you can wash and use in the future.
Yeah. Okay, I was gonna say, is it washed already, or do
We'll
I
say
have
you
to
wash it
wash
back in town, back in Stavos. You'll get back to Stavos. You'll get the thing washed. Yeah. So, Stavos is our town, by the way. And it's only as safe as our front lines make it, right? So if we don't fight out here, the battle will come to us, right? So right now we're fighting in like no man's land or on the enemy line, right? You guys are on the front lines. You go back to Stavos, you'll get past the perimeter, right? The border guard, and then behind friendly lines, that's where you'll be safe for now until the enemy push into central Stavos. But northern Stavos has all been lost to the frog peoples, right? Or the frogs. And the war to the south is also still there. If you don't know, Stavos is a collapsing town. The campaign is slowly becoming more and more cooked. With your loss today, that brings us closer and closer to defeat, right? The southern border of Stavos is lost to pirates, raiders, and Vikings and such. The northern border is lost to the frogs. So we've just got Stavos and the eastern villages with their trench line, north and south, right? Stretching east to west. So, yeah. Nothing gained today except experience, trauma, and loss, right? So, by experience, I mean player experience, no actual gains, experience-wise, because all your crew were casualties and no monsters were killed and no treasure was acquired, I mean. So, it was a devastating defeat, perhaps, for some of us, and disrepute for your crew, right? You got 2 men killed and nothing gained. So, the families of those blame you for their losses, right? So, the 2 men out there who went today, we had SAMAGUTURAJAN, a survivor of one expedition. He was about, let's see, it turns out he was 14 years of age when he was sent out there and died early, right? 2 days into his career, he died. Let's see. And then we had SYREN, a brand new crew member, volunteered of House Silk, brand new, right? He was only, let's see, he was an older guy. He was 18. No, wait, that's 10. So he was 10. Yeah, he was super young actually. He grew up fast. He was forced to grow up fast, and so he hit puberty pretty early. And he was at 10, ready for war. He died too. Okay, so the only survivors are the 3 of you. Any questions or concerns? And you can still do something after the expedition if you really want to. So, but before we go into that, this game is technically ended. So again, thank you everyone for playing. Hope you had fun. Sorry for your loss. Hope you will come back. No worries if you don't want to. I know you lost, so it might discourage you, but you're highly encouraged to come back. Loss is part of old school indie. You either win or you lose. Here it's black and white, and you can't win some without losing some. So you're gonna lose a few of them, and you're gonna win some of them. Let's see. Any questions, concerns, or feedback before we end it? And after we end this, we're gonna go into an optional part of the game. It's not required. It's a post game. It's what we talk about, what your characters do after the expedition or in between adventures. But yeah, before we do that though, do you guys have any questions, concerns, or feedback from Derpity, Ash, or Star?
Not really.
Cool.
My feedback is that was crazy the way that they died. I did not. They were that young either. That's so crazy.
Yeah, population's very
My
young in the
only
war.
concern was the fact that they just, well, specifically Tulio, just up and left the rest of the group.
Yeah, I mean, SAMAGUTURAJAN is one of the more supposedly experienced crew members. He was a survivor. He doesn't really care. He just pushes on, I guess, right? He, as what you experienced, Asher, the previous night before you guys set out, you could clearly tell SAMAGUTURAJAN did not care for any of the recruits, including yourself, right? He was his own man. He went out there. He had a job to do, and he didn't make back, right? So, not yeah.
Well, to be fair, it makes sense he didn't care now that we know he was a teenager.
Yeah, I mean, you all are young. You're at the start of your career. You're at 0 XP, so everyone starts a career at day one of their career, right? Which is when you're young. So, usually, yeah. And due to the war, and it's in our world of medieval Dungeons and Dragons, because there's so much death, the average age is super low, right? You reach adulthood at like basically 10, so you're ready to have kids at 10. Maybe not. You will not. Maybe you don't have to, of course, but based on the circumstances, you're considered a legal adult in the world of D&D, at least here in the medieval world. D&D around 13, 15. Uh, biologically around 10 to 12 for women at least. For men, it might be a little older. But due to the war, you guys start your careers young because most of the older men have already passed or died or never even made it that far, right? So your parents are the few that have made it far in life, but most of your parents are considered the lords, the few lords or chieftains, right? And they don't go to war because their job is to help protect and manage and send you off to war, right, to protect the fronts. So, uh, yeah, birth rate and death rate is extremely high in this game, right? It's 5% birth rate, 4% death rate, and it's increased birth rate in peacetime, and it's increased death rate in wartime. And we're in wartime right now, so you can expect, besides yourself, all these civilians are also dying as fast as you, right? Especially if you lose the fronts, all those fronts that are lost, any civilians living in that particular area will be lost too. At least those who can't evacuate, right? And even if they do evacuate, most of them die due to poverty and all that, unemployment, starvation. So, yeah. Okay. Any other questions, concerns, or feedback before we go into post game? And that's again optional. Otherwise, you guys are welcome to take your leave. But yeah, just real quick, Ash and Jeopardy. I know Star will probably stay, but do you guys want to go into post game? This is the time where you can kind of talk about what you do after the expedition, maybe relax a little bit, debrief. Yeah, it's optional. You don't have to. You can take off now if you want. So
He's nice.
okay, you're okay with it?
No.
Okay, so if you're okay with it, we're gonna go into optional game time, which is considered the post game. So after the expedition, when you get back to town, we'll decide what you guys were up to, right? So EMRYS, I know you're low on money, but do you want to take your crew out drinking or something?
Nah, I'm gonna just hang back. I'm
Okay.
broke right now, so
Yeah. You realize you haven't
yeah.
eaten lunch or dinner, right? So when you get back to town, including your crew, they're all a bit hungry, right? Despite what they saw out there, their belly is aching, right? They were marching for a few hours. They were in a traumatic working condition. Despite the mental trauma that they might be experiencing, which might not be much actually, because they didn't actually get harmed, but they saw or know about the harm and loss of some of their fellow crew. You guys are all anxious, maybe, or hungry at very least, right? So the anxiety might be coming from if you don't get your next meal, the pain and the damage that will be done to your body without eating, right? So, do you want to eat with them? Do you want to buy lunch for them at least?
How much is lunch? Is it just 1 copper?
Yeah. And yep. Right now, lunch is still 1 copper. I just have to warn you though, when you're at the markets buying food, STAVOS reports that there's going to be a shortage on food soon, because the food source for STAVOS only supports a population of right now, because they only have 3 controlled grids in the forest, and their means of food at the moment is mainly through foraging and hunting and fishing, and no longer farming because their farms have been lost. They still have some farms, but the original population or the original food stock can only usually used to supply enough food for about like 200 or so people. But yeah, there's a shortage on food right now because we only have 33% of the grid left. It's dropped down to about 66 people that they can feed, like reasonably. So therefore, you just have or the market's prices are getting more expensive, so you can stock up soon before it does go up. Food prices are still 1 copper basically, but eventually it might become 2 coppers, right? So double cost if we lose all food stocks, right? And food supplies.
Okay, can I stock up on food?
Yeah, I mean, you only have 1 copper to stock up on food, so unless you want to sell off some of your gear and buy
Yeah.
more food, like your shovel and hatchet, you could trade that in for food before it gets expensive.
Yeah, I'll sell my shovel
Okay.
and the hatchet.
All right, you still have the shovel and hatchet. All right, so you trade it in for food, and shovels and hatchets are in extremely high demand right now. But they'll still buy it from you. You'll get like 1 for the shovel, and hatchets are only like 3 coppers too, I think. So, or are they 5? I think they're 3 or 5. Let me double check. Cost of a hatchet. I think it's 3. Okay, yeah, it's 3. So, actually, no. Both tools might be in better. Yeah, you'll get 1.5, so you about 3. Yeah, so you sell both tools, so you get 3 coppers back. And you'll use that toward food, I suppose. So rations, ready to eat meals. So,
Yeah, not all the money though, like at least 2 coppers of it.
okay, so 1 copper left. Or sorry, yeah, 1 left. So you have 2 left total. And then you're gonna use that 2 on rations. So it's 6 rations. That's enough to feed you and your crew, lunch and dinner. That'll be all your rations though. Are you willing to feed them all lunch and dinner? If you guys go without any meals, right, you will suffer the consequences, and that will gradually increase over time, right? So are you open to
Yeah,
feeding your
I'll
new?
feed my crew.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. So you guys got to eat lunch and dinner because of EMRYS. He fed you. Let's see. So, yeah, you guys are just a bunch of poor, most likely orphans from the war. Or you might have some family left. At least half your family might be around still. Maybe siblings, or people who are capable of escaping. So grandma and grandpa are definitely dead if you had any. Mom and dad, maybe 1 remains, and then siblings, maybe 1 or 2 remain. Right. Most families are having kids constantly in this world if they can. So your mom's, if you have a mom, she's always getting pregnant, right? Because of the need for it. And also, given the situation, now that you've become an adventurer, you've formally taken on a respectable job. Because before this, you guys were kind of nobodies. But moving forward, Asher, at some point, even if you're not successful, but you should start thinking about finding one of the physiological needs of man that are very important is, of course, the basics: food, water, shelter, and of course, sexual needs, right? So you'll need to find a mate ASAP, right? Now that you've got a respectable, livable wage possibly in the future, right? Secure your legacy because death is around the corner for you. Same with you, Plum. Plum, you don't have to worry about it. You're a woman, so in the game, women actually don't count toward the defense of the war. So you're kind of a enigma. Women don't usually fight. If you get pregnant though, you're out of the campaign. So like your character can't adventure anymore. You have to retire. But you don't have to worry about finding a mate because you're not required to find a mate as a female adventurer. You're not supposed to find a mate actually. Let's see.
Oh.
All right, you're free to be just a soldier basically. All right. Yeah, so after the expedition, Emery's bought you guys food, but Plum and Asher, were there any actions you wanted to take after the expedition? Like, did you want to talk or debrief or do any activities for fun that are free and don't cost money?
I was gonna ask, is there any way besides adventuring that I can actually gain money?
Yes.
Potentially something that suits my needs specifically as someone who has high strength and high constitution.
Yep. So the game does have sanity though and energy, right? Your character's able to work 1 shift. A shift is around 8 hours, right? They need 8 hours of debrief time for like free time for them to like live their normal life to recuperate, and they have to have 8 hours set off for sleep. If you have any life disbalances or imbalance, of course, in your time or schedule, it could cause other penalties, right? So you have an equal time schedule right now, like you're balanced, right? Today you already worked a shift, right? Technically you're out in the field for half a shift, like 4 hours out there, right? So you still technically have 4 hours of your shift left if you want to work a little longer since it wasn't a full shift. But the thing is, adventure work is not a normal job. So usually, even if you don't work a full 8-hour shift, your characters usually tend to use that time to add to their relaxation time and sleep time to recuperate. for future stressful moments, right? So if you do work a second shift or a second job, it's possible, but you also might not make a lot of money. The civilian jobs out here pay 1 copper for 10 hours of work, right? That's minimum wage. And you only can work for 8 hours, right? So most adventurers or most civilians, they work 10 hours for 1 copper. They get home, they kind of try to recover from their day's shift, and they go right back to sleep. It's a rough life, right? Some people with more skilled jobs make a little more and can work a little less, but yeah. For you though, if you wanted to make a single copper, you would have to work 10 hours, so that's 14-hour shift today, right? And that will stress your character out. Your character will, of course, accumulate work stress, right? And stress affects your mental ability in the game. So, do you want to work a second shift?
So adventuring is technically my first shift.
Yeah, that's your job. It's a very hazardous duty. Like,
Yeah,
your life is on the line. So,
what's the downsides of being stressed in this game?
lots of it. Insanities, right? That your character can only compensate with sometimes bad habits, right? Smoking, drugs, sex, right? To compensate for the stress that they accumulate. So, stress, of course, what it will do is it will affect your mental state, right? So, mental state is important. Anytime you're using your brain, you're using your mental state. And of course, that means any action that requires you to think, you will be penalized. Swinging your sword, you might be slowed because you're just stressed out thinking about your next meal or thinking about how sad you are or, how depressed you are or fucking how angry you are, right? So stress is super important in the game to keep at a low, right? You want low stress.
I mean, is there a possibility that, like, does each campaign have, like, each session happen day by day? Like,
Yep. Every game that
is that
passes is
something
one
gonna
day
happen?
passing. Yeah.
Okay.
When your characters are not adventuring, they work a normal shift. Like they work a daytime job, a minimum wage job that they can get because that's the only people that will hire them, right? Otherwise, you go onto the front.
That's why, like,
Mhm.
I just want to submit that, but I will work a shift today, but I want
Oh yeah,
that as
it's
an
natural.
option for
You
when I'm
will.
not okay,
Yeah, like your
just making
character
sure.
is forced actually to like stand a shift on the watch, right? There's not enough men to stand the watch. So there's constantly always minimum wage jobs that need you guys to do. And if you don't do them, you don't eat. That's it, right? So when you're not adventuring, you're having to take a horrible menial labor job that is painful and barely pays you just enough to get by, right? So
Exactly.
that's why you would rather go adventuring in this game because you can make it, you're a business owner in that case. Your money, you get more money. It's more riskier, but there are more benefits, I think. So in the short term, in the long run, you might die, but the goal is to get a lot of money so you can retire and live happily and like fulfill a good life, live a good life instead of just struggle to live like how your characters are right now, right? So, all right,
Got it.
let's double check with Plum. Plum, do you want to do anything after the adventure?
After this adventure, I feel like I haven't done enough, even though I am technically a survivor and soldier in that. So after working my regular shift, I'm just gonna have a long bath.
Yep. You go to bathe freely at the lake or the river, right? There are various free activities that your characters will do to de-stress, to recuperate. I know you guys weren't under a lot of stress today. And you can technically still work a little bit. If there's any activities you guys want to do to better yourself or better prepare yourself, you can, right? So, yeah, Plum, you will wash yourself for sure, right? That's definitely on your list of things to do then in between adventures. EMRYS, is there? Oh, yeah, go ahead. Was there something else?
Yeah, I was also gonna see if I could to stock up on food before the price goes up. And is it possible that I could learn magic, or am I not like a level up yet?
Yeah, anyone can learn magic, but not everyone can use it at the same level as like a master of magic, a level 1 magic user, right? The difference between a magic user, like a true one, and a normal human like yourself, is a magic user has supernatural abilities, right? They gained enough like practice to be able to use spells at the cost of their own bodily health, right? Like most spells have a cost balance. That's why it costs money to produce a spell. It's a ritual you have to go through to like enchant a scroll that can, of course, be read and summon demons or something that's supernatural, a supernatural force into the world to, of course, do your bidding, right? Such as the floating disc, right? You would read the spell, which has been created and paid for already, and you would make contact with some supernatural force that will give you the power and ability to use kind of telekinesis, right? To carry 500 pounds a gear, right? For a certain duration of time. But some characters can use their own, they don't have to pay money for it. They have innate ability, and that's when you're level 1, right? If you get to 2,000 experience points or 2,000 days in the field, then you get to have supernatural powers, right? That's, experience wise, you get level 1 magic user, or yeah, because no wait, you only need 1,250, I think, because the magic user needs 2,500. Yeah, so if you get to 1,250 days in the field or experience points, you will become level 1. You will get supernatural powers, right? So, yep. Since you're a magic user, for the fighter, to become a veteran, right? By the way, veteran means you've survived many years of battle, like you've killed, experienced, survived mainly. That's to get to level 1. You need 1,000 days in the field, which is about a 3-year campaign, right? So if you earned 1 XP per game, it would take you 3,000, or it would take you about 1,000 games. So 3 years in real life, roughly 2 to 3 years in real life to get to. If you are earning at the rate that is considered the bare bones, right? The idea is that you guys are gonna not do that, and you're trying to get more than 1 XP per game. But today, as you can tell, you got 0, right? So progress is slow and gruesome to some, or for some, but it's usually exponential. Once you get your foot in the door, solid foundation, you're just earning like exponentially quick. It's just the start is rough and slow, but it spikes once you get your armies going. So, all right, yeah, that'll be it for today. We might do another one if we still have people on, because technically we're supposed to play for an hour, but we went overtime. We're at 2 hours and 41. We did have more than 3 players though, so typically we only play 3 hours per 3 players. 1 hour per 3 players. But since we had like 5 or 6 today, we technically were able to go 2 hours, roughly. And then yeah, we just had an optional extension, which is what we're doing right now. So yeah, I'll see you guys later. Thanks for playing. Hope you have fun. Let me know if you have any questions or concerns in between games. All right, take care. Bye.
Okay, thank you.